Chapter 1574. At the entrance of the cave, Fang Yun was the first to enter the formation. There were a total of 3 formations in the restriction. One was a bewildering formation, and 2 were killing formations. When used together, the threat was extremely great. But since Fang Yun dared to come in, he obviously had a plan. The moment they stepped into the formation, the scene before them immediately changed. A white mist enveloped Fang Yun's group of 4. From time to time, a gust of wind would blow through the fog, interfering with one's senses. Fang Yun looked around and said, "This maze isn't too powerful. Give me some time and I can break it. Everyone, don't panic. Just deal with it calmly." No matter how strong the formation was, the people who laid it were just Luo Nan and Fei Er. It would not be overly strong. With their outstanding individual strength, Fang Yun, Lu Mu, and Tuoba Mu were more than enough to deal with them. As for Lotus Sect Temple's Feng Yun, he was at the very back, so he didn't need to do much. "Junior sister, let's activate 2 killing arrays at the same time and scatter their formation." "Yes." Fei Er nodded lightly and formed hand seals with a serious expression. Kacha! Amidst the white fog, in front of Fang Yun's group of 4, a monstrous wave suddenly appeared. The wave was monstrous and terrifying. It was as if it wanted to devour everything. Insignificant skill. The flying snow palace's Lu Mu did not show any fear in the face of danger. He smiled coldly and threw a palm strike just as the towering waves were about to reach him. Hoo hoo hoo. This palm strike stirred up a boundless cold wind, and within the wind were pieces of flying snow. Every piece of flying snow was sparkling and translucent, flickering with flowing light. When the thousands of snowflakes entered the tsunami, the surging waves slowed down. As if in slow motion, it completely froze and was sealed in ice. Bang! Tuoba Yun charged forward ferociously and kicked out. Ka-cca! Ka-ca! The frozen sea immediately shattered into thousands of pieces. However, he didn't give them time to celebrate. At the same time the ice shattered, strong winds blew in from all directions, howling and moving astonishingly fast. The few of them hurriedly dodged, but when they looked back, they found that their formation had already been messed up. "Don't panic. Protect yourself. I'll break the maze immediately." Just as Tuoba Yun and the other 2 panicked, Fang Yun's calm voice rang out in their ears. "Who?" A cool breeze blew, and a node of the maze was removed by Fang Yun. The dense fog instantly dispersed, and the few people who were separated immediately calmed down. "We cannot let Fang Yun break the bewildering formation." Luo Nan felt very anxious. Unexpectedly, Fang Yun was so strong. If this went on and no one interfered, it wouldn't be long before the maze was broken. Once the bewildering array was broken, the 2-layered killing array wouldn't last long against Fang Chang's trio. At that time, the 2 of them would be crushed to death. Tuoba Yun and Lu Mu had already given them a hard time. With the addition of Fang Yun, there was no suspense at all. Luo Nan gave Fei Er a look. Fei Er nodded gently and slowly formed hand seals. In the maze, a murderous aura pierced through the thick fog, piercing towards Fang Yun who was concentrating on breaking the array. Dang! Fang Yun raised his hand and slapped the killing intent away, only to discover that it was just a feint. "Fang Yun, you've been tricked." Luo Nan rejoiced in his heart. His true body appeared behind Fang Yun and stabbed out at lightning speed. Who knew? Something strange happened. When Luo Nan's sword pierced through Fang Yun, it was just an illusion. Just as Luo Nan retreated, Fang Yun suddenly appeared on the left and landed a palm strike on Luo Nan's shoulder, causing him to vomit blood. "Trying to trick me? The 2 of you are still too inexperienced." As Fang Yun watched Luo Nan's figure disappear into the thick clouds, he smiled faintly and did not give chase. Outside the cave, the 3 ferocious beasts rushed over. When they saw the heavy restrictions in the fog, they cautiously chose to stop. At this level, these ferocious beasts were no longer brainless wild beasts. There are sounds of fighting. It looks like there is more than one group of people. I wonder which group Lord Jiao Snake wants us to kill. The black demonic ape sent a voice projection, since he did not say, then just kill them all. However, there is no rush. These sect disciples are rather strong. When they are almost done killing each other, we will attack. Right. After making up their minds, the ferocious beasts decided to watch from the sidelines, playing the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. They were very smart. Oh no. Fei Er and Luo Nan will not be able to hold on for much longer. Xiao Chen, who was currently fighting the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy ferocious spirit, felt startled when he sensed the situation in the restriction. Unexpectedly, the situation had turned so bad. The bewildering formation had already been broken, and the two-layered killing formation showed signs of crumbling at any moment. The bewildering formation had already been broken. Under the attacks of the three, the two-layered killing formation showed signs of crumbling at any moment. However, Little Yellow Feather's sudden attack caught the other party off guard. Otherwise, the situation would have been even more unsightly. At this moment, Little Yellow Feather was very busy and could not afford to be distracted. The ferocious spirit rampaged in Xiao Chen's sea of consciousness, and the baleful Yin energy rampaged in his body, troubling him on both sides. If Xiao Chen ignored the baleful Yin energy, he could use his strong soul energy to kill this 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy remnant soul easily. However, he still had to worry about refining the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. It would be hard to avoid giving the ferocious spirit a chance to wreak havoc in his sea of consciousness. At this moment, Xiao Chen had two choices. He could give up on refining the baleful Yin energy and let it out of his body. He could focus on dealing with the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy and help Luo Nan and Fei Er. Or he could gamble, using his life as the stake, taking the risk and forcefully refining the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. When he advanced to the Yin essence stage, he could conveniently kill the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy's remnant soul. The former was stable and could preserve his life. However, he would lose the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. The latter was radical. Once he failed, the three would lose their lives here. Gambling or not gambling? Gamble. In the time it took for a spark to fly, Xiao Chen quickly made up his mind. He had never been an indecisive person, someone who could not make up his mind when he should. After coming to the Great Thousand Realms, he wanted to stand out and not be satisfied with being mediocre. He wanted to fight with heaven, to fight with others, to fight with himself. With this thought, Xiao Chen endured the torment of the ferocious spirit in his sea of consciousness. He focused on refining the baleful Yin energy, continuously circulating the veritable essence energy in his body. The Purple Thunder Divine Incantation's 10th layer circulated wildly at an unprecedented speed. Boom! 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 Countless purple lightning bolts shot out from Xiao Chen's body. His long hair fluttered in the wind. As Xiao Chen circulated the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation to its limits, his skin turned purple. Sparks flickered all over his body. Crackle! Crackle! The sparks crackled endlessly. Xiao Chen's delicate face kept changing, looking ferocious and scary. That was the baleful Yin energy's remnant soul surging in his sea of consciousness, trying to occupy Xiao Chen's sea of consciousness and body. In Xiao Chen's meridians, the baleful Yin energy was like a wild horse that had broken free of its reins, obediently submitting. As the baleful Yin energy was continuously refined, the pure baleful Yin energy continued to be refined. Xiao Chen felt that his bottleneck was already teetering on the verge of breaking through at any moment. The Yin essence energy that the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy turned into was like a berserk flood accumulating. As for Xiao Chen's bottleneck, it was like a firm dam. Xiao Chen endured the increasingly ferocious flood again and again. It looked like he was about to collapse, but he did not. The situation at the cave entrance in front no longer allowed any delay. One of the two layers of killing formations had already shattered, leaving only one layer. At this moment, Xiao Chen wished that his accumulations were not so deep. Otherwise, the bottleneck would not be so hard to break through. Regular people could break through the bottleneck of the veritable essence stage with just essence stones. Xiao Chen's bottleneck was somewhat exaggerated. Only one layer of killing formations remains. Luo Nan, the two of you just surrender, and I can spare your lives. Fang Yun did not rush, slowly grinding away at the two. Now that victory was in his grasp, there was nothing to fear. As for Yi Bai, he should be absorbing the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. There was no need to rush this. Even if he had 3 days, Fang Yun did not believe that the other party could refine much of the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. Damn it! Junior sister, you should go. I'll take care of it. I'll repay what we owe Yi Bai alone. At this moment, Luo Nan's clothes were tattered, and blood leaked out of a corner of his lips. His complexion was pale, and the situation did not look good. It's too late. Now, none of you can leave. Wind. Suddenly, a strong wind burst out from Fang Yun's body. Then, he threw a palm strike and detonated this boundless strong wind. Amid the intense explosion, the final layer of killing formations crumbled. Fei Er and Luo Nan both vomited blood and went flying back. However, the instant the killing formations broke, the smiles on the four's faces froze at the same time like they had seen a ghost. Without the concealment of the killing formations, the scene of Xiao Chen absorbing the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy was completely exposed to the four. Berserk purple lightning, strong winds, a ferocious face, and a horrifying aura all came from Xiao Chen's body. The four squinted, not daring to look directly at Xiao Chen. That aura forced them to retreat continuously. He is refining the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy alone. Fang Yun and the other 3 all exclaimed. The Yi Bai before them was actually refining the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy alone, trying to use it to make a breakthrough. Kill. Quickly kill him. Otherwise, we will all die. Fang Yun revealed a horrified expression as he roared and led the other 3 to charge at Xiao Chen. Enduring the huge pressure, the 4 soared into the air and slowly approached Xiao Chen. In the time it took for a spark to fly, Xiao Chen suddenly opened his eyes. Boom! An explosive shock wave surged out from Xiao Chen's body. The 4, who were just 1 step away from reaching Xiao Chen, were all knocked back. Aside from Fang Yun, the other 3 fell to the ground in sorry states, revealing pained expressions. Chapter 1575. Xiao Chen slowly stood up, and the strong yin essence energy in his body spread out uncontrollably. The cave was suddenly filled with a chilly air. Mixed within this cold energy was Xiao Chen's original thunder true essence power. Ice and thunder true essence fused together. A visible purple cold qi, carrying with it an irresistible pressure, pressed towards them. The veritable essence energy lake in Xiao Chen's Dantian essence had already merged with the yin essence energy. The primordial yin energy refined from the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy completely covered the quintessential energy. The cold yin energy filled Xiao Chen's entire body. Since he had just entered the yin essence stage, the two had yet to completely fuse. Xiao Chen would have to spend a lot of time to consume the yin primordial energy of this 10,000-year-old yin qi. 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. As expected of a 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. Right now, Xiao Chen's cultivation had already reached the peak of the yin essence stage. 10,000-year baleful yin energy, you actually refined it all. Fang Yun had a look of extreme disbelief on his face. He already expected Yi Bai to be very strong, but he didn't expect Xiao Chen to be this strong. Xiao Chen swept his gaze over Fang Yun, a murderous intent flashing in his eyes. The next moment, his body appeared in front of Fang Yun, his fingers clenched into a fist. Kacha, 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 the sound of ice shattering rang out in the space, accompanied by the crackling of lightning. Xiao Chen's long hair and clothes trembled as he threw a simple punch. It was like a true dragon of thunder and lightning, with a body full of cold air, cold, and violent. Bang! This punch was very destructive. It shattered the martial technique that Fang Yun sent out with his full power, leaving him unable to resist at all. The huge advantage brought by the powerful yin energy allowed Xiao Qin to crush his opponent. He did not even need to use any martial skills. Just a light punch. Xiao Qin had a pensive look on his face. After absorbing this 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy, his combat power had at least doubled. More importantly, the bottleneck had been broken, and his potential had increased by countless times. In the following days, the berserk yin essence energy in Xiao Chen's body was slowly digested and refined. His strength would advance by leaps and bounds. Fang Yun's right hand was sent flying, and he coughed up a mouthful of blood. Run! The group did not dare to stay any longer. They got up, turned around, and ran. What 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy! What fortuitous encounter! Fear spread throughout his body. Escaping was the most important thing. All of them ran for their lives at the same time. Xiao Qin couldn't chase after them one by one, but there was one person he had to catch. Sure of the Lotus sect, Feng Yun. Xiao Qin pushed his feet off the ground and tried out some of the footwork that he learned from the ink flame tiger while executing his movement technique. When Xiao Chen's body shot out, a faint layer of flame appeared on the surface of his body. It was because his speed was too fast, and the friction between his protective Jin Yuan and the air caused it to burn. At this moment, he finally understood why the ink flame tiger's body was always burning with a black flame. It was just a slight attempt, but Xiao Chen's speed was so fast that it was impossible to see with the naked eye. When he reached Feng Yun's side, the latter was only halfway through getting up from the ground. Pu Ci. Xiao Qin stretched out his hand, grabbed Feng Yun's neck, and lifted him up. Only now did the others get up and flee. They were so frightened that they stumbled and nearly fell again. Right now, Xiao Qin focused all his attention on Feng Yun, not caring about the others. He urgently needed information about the Black Lotus Church. Speak. Do you know my identity? Xiao Qin looked at Feng Yun coldly, his gaze icy like that of a grim reaper. An intense feeling of suffocation accompanied by fear completely shattered Feng Yun's mental defenses. He spilled everything he knew without missing a beat. After hearing that, Xiao Qin heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. The Black Lotus Church still did not know where he was. It seemed like the Black Lotus Church did not want to rely on an outsider to deal with him. No matter what the deeper meaning was, this was good news for Xiao Qin. Xiao Qin needed time. As long as he had enough time, he would trample on the Black Lotus Church sooner or later. I already told you everything. Can you let me live? Feng Yun begged. Xiao Qin retorted indifferently, you are shameless. When you instigated Wei He's group to kill me, you already knew that this would happen. Naturally, Xiao Qin could not let off such a person. Berserk veritable essence energy mixed with yin essence energy and poured into Feng Yun's meridians. Instantly, it shattered all of Feng Yun's meridians and internal organs, extinguishing his life force. When Xiao Qin let go, Feng Yun silently fell to the ground, dead. Big brother Xiao Qin, Luo Nan and Fei Er walked over in fear and shock. As they looked at Xiao Qin, their eyes revealed some fear. After interacting with him for so long, this was the first time they saw Xiao Chen's cold side. I owe you two a favor. There is no need to say anything else. This place is not safe. Let's go first. Xiao Qin had always been cautious. He did not become arrogant just because he entered the yin essence stage and absorbed the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. There were still many unanswered questions in this place. Furthermore, for some reason, Xiao Qin felt like someone was watching him from the moment he entered this place. His intuition told him that this place was not safe. Ah! Just as the three were about to leave, startled screams suddenly rang out in front. Those were the horrified voices of Feng Yun and the other two. What's going on? Luo Nan and Fei Er felt confused. In the next moment, Feng Yun and the other two, who had already fled, retreated in a fluster. Before Lu Mu and Tuoba Yun could stand firmly, two ferocious beasts bit them into their mouths and started chewing on them. The clear feather sex Fang Yun fell to the ground in fright, retreating continuously. The black demonic ape, the two-headed ferocious dog, and the blue lion appeared, radiating strong auras as they looked coldly at Xiao Chen. Ferocious beasts that just advanced to the primal core realm. Fei Er's and Luo Nan's expressions changed drastically. No wonder Fang Yun and the other two looked like they had seen ghosts. To think that there were three such horrifying ferocious beasts guarding this place. It looks like you are the person that Lord Jiao Snake instructed us to deal with. The black demonic ape did not even look at Fang Yun, staring straight at Xiao Chen. Upon seeing the three ferocious beasts, Xiao Chen's anxious heart calmed down. If the strongest existences here were just early-stage primal core realm ferocious beasts, then there would be nothing to fear. At the very least, leaving would not be a problem. As Xiao Chen stood in front of Luo Nan and Fei Er, he looked at the three ferocious beasts without fear. Then, he slowly unleashed his aura, which contained Dao Might. Facing three ferocious beasts alone, he did not retreat at all. At this moment, Xiao Chen was confident of facing these three ferocious beasts. No matter how strong the black demonic ape was, it was just an early-stage primal core realm ferocious beast. Compared to a middle-stage minor primal core expert like the blue-clad old man, the black demonic ape was far from comparable. As for that two-headed ferocious dog and the blue lion, they were merely on the same level as the ink flame tiger. When Xiao Chen was in the veritable essence stage, he did not fear the ink flame tiger, much less now. Wielding his saber, Xiao Chen stood upright with his head held high, not fearing a fight. Before Xiao Chen's sharpness, the two-headed ferocious dog and the blue lion trembled and took a step back. Only the black demonic ape did not retreat. However, when facing such sharpness, its originally relaxed heart tensed up. Simply put, the black demonic ape was afraid. Ferocious beasts that could survive until now and reach such a cultivation were extremely precious, so they were not willing to take the risk. However, just at this moment, something strange happened. The entire underground suddenly shook intensely. No matter who it was, they all felt an irresistible chill. Trash. All of you are trash. What is the point of keeping you around? A strange, deep, hoarse voice rang out in everyone's ears. The three ferocious beasts were immediately frightened into kneeling on the ground, trembling continuously. Whoosh! Suddenly, a strong suction came from the entrance of the cave. This was an irresistible suction. No one, not even Xiao Chen, could block it. Fear stiffened their bodies, and they flew forward uncontrollably. Ka-xie! Ka-xie! The three ferocious beasts and Fang Yun flew out of the cave and were instantly swept away. When the suction vanished, Xiao Chen's group of three stopped at the same time. A swallowing sound rang out, and a gargantuan snake head suddenly landed on the ground, blocking the three. The snake head had scarlet eyes as it looked down at the three from above, making them tremble involuntarily. Xiao Chen was immediately struck by lightning. So, this is the little snake that little yellow feather mentioned. How small, two half-step primal core ferocious beasts, an early-stage primal core demonic ape, and a little snack. Without waiting for a breather, the three directly swallowed them, not even leaving scraps behind. Chapter 1576. Xiao Chen's group of three stuck close to the cave entrance and looked at the gargantuan Jiao snake's head. They did not dare to move, not even daring to breathe loudly. The Jiao snake's head was like a small mountain blocking the cave entrance. Its scarlet eyes looked down at Xiao Chen from above. The Jiao snake brought with it an extremely strong pressure, making breathing difficult. Xiao Chen was still fine. However, Luo Nan and Fei are already flushed red, feeling the pressure on their qi and blood. If they continued like this, it would be hard to say whether they would explode in blood and die. At this moment, Xiao Chen even felt like eating little yellow feather. If Xiao Chen had known that the one guarding this 10,000-year-old baleful energy would be such a Jiao snake, he would not have taken such a risk. The Jiao snake before Xiao Chen could give off such strong pressure was not because of its huge size. Instead, it was because it was too strong. Xiao Chen estimated that this Jiao snake was already a late-stage major primal core cultivator. Its cultivation was infinitely close to the Cloud Sea realm, and its strength was extremely horrifying. Cloud Sea realm experts could calmly cultivate their soul energy. Wherever they went, they would be considered experts. In the nearby Great Realms, Cloud Sea realm experts were the peak experts. A Great Realm would not have more than 3 Cloud Sea realm experts. Even in the entire Purple Sun region, there would not be many Cloud Sea realm experts. However, this Jiao snake before Xiao Chen was in existence equal to a Cloud Sea realm expert. It went without saying how strong he was. Not to mention Xiao Chen, even the middle stage minor primal core blue-clad old man would be like an ant before it, easily crushed. An opponent on a completely different level would not be able to resist at all. However, to everyone's surprise, the Jiao snake seemed to have some reservations and did not immediately make a move to kill Xiao Chen's group. The Jiao snake glanced at Little Yellow Feather, and rage immediately blazed in its heart. It was this little bird. The golden crow holy beast. The Jiao snake in Profound Een Mountain had been the spirit pet of a major character long ago. That major character had moved unhindered in the starry heavens, a character who could leave his name in the history books of the entire martial epoch. As the spirit pet of such a major character, the Jiao snake's eyes naturally would not be bad. When Little Yellow Feather came over, it immediately recognized the identity of the Golden Crow mythological beast, which was an extinct mythological beast. Even the Golden Crow race, which was the strongest of the Great Desolate 100 races, did not have a pure-blooded Golden Crow. The Jiao snake immediately turned small and chatted with it. When it learned that the Jiao snake would not consume 10,000-year-old baleful Een energy, it relaxed. He wanted to build a relationship with her. Back then, they had agreed on a good deal. Who knew that he would change his mind in the blink of an eye and bring a group of people over? This was terrible. Snakes were of the Een attribute, and 10,000-year-old Een baleful energy was a rare tonic for Jiao snakes. The Jiao snake guarded this place because it wanted to wait another 1,000 years. When the 10,000-year-old baleful Een energy matured, it could directly consume it and advance to the Cloud Sea realm. Who knew that the people brought by Little Yellow Feather were even more difficult to deal with? It had great eyesight and could tell that Xiao Chen's bloodline was extraordinary at first glance. It vaguely felt that Xiao Chen must have the bloodline of the primitive 100 races. However, after observing for a long time, the Jiao snake could not figure out which Great Desolate Een bloodline it was. This was because the Blue Dragon bloodline had been removed from the dragon race for too long. Furthermore, Xiao Chen wore the Buddhist jade pendant, which suppressed the aura of his bloodline. Hence, the Jiao snake could not make an accurate judgment. However, no matter what, Xiao Chen's bloodline would not be weaker than that of the Great Desolate 100 races. Such a character would definitely be backed by a powerful figure and a powerful force, no matter where he fell. No matter where he fell, the seniors behind him would quickly find out. At that time, the Jiao snake would not be able to escape responsibility and would definitely die. In its early years, the Jiao snake had seen many things and was very clear on the means of those major characters. They were not things that it could contend with. Fearing Little Yellow Feathers and Xiao Chen's identities, the Jiao snake could only watch as Xiao Chen entered this place. Originally, the Jiao snake wanted to find some scapegoats to get the ferocious beasts of Profound Een Mountain to come over. Who could have imagined that this group of ferocious beasts would not come even after so long? By the time the Jiao snake arrived, Xiao Chen had already completely refined the 10,000-year-old baleful Een energy, not even leaving a speck of it. What was the use of it? What was even more frustrating was that even though it was 3 against 1, the Jiao snake still cowered and did not dare to step forward. The Jiao snake raged but had nowhere to vent it, so it could only target these 3 ferocious beasts. At this moment, the Jiao snake stared at Xiao Chen's group and Little Yellow Feather, who was hiding at the back. The Jiao snake's scarlet eyes flickered with a faint light. A sinister killing chi spread out, numbing everyone's legs and deterring them from doing anything overboard. The Jiao snake hesitated, wondering if it should go all out and directly swallow up this group of people and that golden crow holy beast. However, when the Jiao snake thought about the terrifying consequences, it trembled in fear. Scram! In the end, between life and rage, the Jiao snake chose the former and roared. A berserk roar rang out in the minds of Xiao Chen's group of 3. The shock caused them to vomit a mouthful of blood, and their bodies flew back uncontrollably. A strong wind howled by their ears, and rocks fell continuously from the sky above. Xiao Chen was the first to land. He stabilized himself and caught Luo Nan and Fei before taking another step back. "Are you all right?" Xiao Chen asked. After the two landed, they panted continuously. After resting for a long time, their complexions slowly recovered to normal. Luo Nan said with lingering fear in his heart, "What a terrifying Jiao snake. It is much stronger than our sect master. Why did it appear here?" Fei whispered, "Let's leave quickly. Who knows when that Jiao snake will go back on its word." That Jiao snake frightened the two too much. Now that they had a new lease on life, their bodies were still trembling slightly. Xiao Chen looked around. There were many top-quality Yin essence stones near the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. Yin essence stones were also divided into different grades. The ones near the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy were clearly the best. It would be too much of a pity to waste so many top-quality Yin essence stones. "You guys go first. I'll catch up soon." "Big brother Xiao Chen, you should leave with us," Fei said somewhat worriedly. Xiao Chen shook his head to indicate that he was fine. He vaguely felt that the Jiao snake did not dare to fight the 3 of them. It seemed like it had some reservations. If it had attacked, it would not have survived until now. Now that he understood, Xiao Chen's worried heart calmed down. The two could not go around Xiao Chen. In the end, they left first and waited for Xiao Chen to regroup. Without any delay, Xiao Chen stayed behind and quickly mined the nearby Yin essence stones. Soon, Xiao Chen finished mining more than 10,000 Yin essence stones. The cold qi in the cave vanished, and the air became much drier. The value of Yin essence stones was rather special. Cultivators with higher cultivations would not even bother to look at them. However, sects would purchase treasures like Yin essence stones in large quantities all year round to nurture their disciples. Some alchemists and blacksmiths also had special needs for Yin essence stones. Xiao Chen had such a large number of top-notch Yin essence stones in his hands, so he did not have to worry about not being able to sell them. When everything was packed and Xiao Chen stepped out of the cave, he felt as if he was being stared at by a pair of eyes. Could it be that the Jiao snake hasn't left yet? Xiao Chen was deep in thought. He was in no hurry to move forward. "Young man, you are really greedy." The Jiao snake suddenly appeared from the river, revealing half of its body as it looked down at Xiao Chen. Just half of the Jiao snake's body was already several hundred meters tall, like a mountain. Xiao Chen did not panic. He cupped his hands and said, "Thank you, senior. If we are fated to meet again in the future, I will definitely repay this favor." Xiao Chen's ability to absorb 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy and obtain such a fortuitous encounter was entirely due to the help of the Jiao snake. There was no falsehood at all. Humph. If it wasn't for the fact that I followed Lord Pan Huang in my early years and my fierceness had diminished greatly, I would have been killed by him. It really won't care about the great desolate Yin bloodline in your body. You're on your own. Not every ferocious beast has my good temper. Clearly, the Jiao snake was still in a bad mood. Even though Xiao Chen's words were polite, it did not give Xiao Chen much face. Lord Pan Huang. Xiao Chen's heart skipped a beat. As he looked at the other party, he revealed a suspicious expression. "The Pan Huang you speak of, is he a bladesman who uses a saber?" "The Spring Snow Bladesman and the Kunlun Realms Pan Huang. Could there be a second Pan Huang in the Great Thousand Realms?" Chapter 1577. Xiao Chen was stunned for a moment. He only reacted after a long time. This was too much of a coincidence. To think that he could run into Pan Huang's former spirit pet here. What's wrong? You have not heard of my master's name before? That should not be the case. Few people in the boundless Great Thousand Realms, even in the core Central Great Realm, do not know about the Spring Snow Bladesman. Spring Snow Bladesman. Good name. Xiaochen immediately understood the meaning of these words. When Xiaochen first met Pan Huang in Pan Huang Hall, the thing that left the deepest impression on him was Pan Huang's smile. Spring snow probably meant that Pan Huang's smile was like the warm wind of early spring, able to melt the last snowflakes of winter. For a cultivator to be given a title, it would undoubtedly be a very tyrannical title. Xiaochen rarely heard of a title like Spring Snow. It could only be said that Pan Huang's smile left a very deep impression. Xiaochen did not say anything, only taking out the saber's sovereign medallion. The atmosphere changed visibly. The Jiao snake exclaimed in shock, "What is this? It has Pan Huang's aura on it. It looks like I was right." Xiaochen honestly explained his fortuitous encounter with Pan Huang. Ha ha ha. The matters of this world are really coincidental. Since you received Pan Huang's inheritance, you can be considered half a disciple of Pan Huang. In that case, I will give you this 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy without a word of complaint. After the Jiao snake heard that, it was in a great mood, sweeping away all its depression. Xiaochen asked, "Is Senior Pan Huang still around?" "I'm not sure. Pan Huang's master has a carefree nature and is very open to everything. He likes to roam the world. Back then, I was too severely injured. After Pan Huang extended my life, he let me go." "Why?" "After I recovered, my cultivation fell too much. Furthermore, Master had too many enemies. Clearly, I was no longer suitable to follow Master. Master took pity on me, so he removed the contract and let me go." At the mention of Pan Huang, the Jiao snake felt somewhat sad. Its thoughts drifted to the time it followed Pan Huang. Clearly, the Jiao snake had a very deep relationship with Pan Huang back then. Xiaochen suddenly understood. No wonder he felt that this Jiao snake was extraordinary when he first saw it, giving off a strong aura. Back then, it wasn't just a great origin core realm. Although his cultivation was not as high as before, his aura was still there. With a thought, Xiaochen looked at the Jiao snake and asked, "Senior Jiao snake, what are your plans now?" The Jiao snake smiled and said, "What plans can I have? I definitely cannot remain in this profound Yin mountain. I should roam around and see if I can run into some fortuitous encounters to break through to the Cloud Sea realm." "Is the Cloud Sea realm that hard to break through?" "Of course, one can cultivate soul energy in the Cloud Sea realm. You need some spiritual light to illuminate the sea of consciousness. If the divine light didn't appear, everything would be in vain. I'm still in a good state. I just need to come across a suitable opportunity." Xiaochen entered deep thought. After some consideration, he said, "Senior Jiao snake, there will probably be some trouble in the second half of the month. At that time, I would like to ask for your help. In the future, after I become the Dragon Emperor, I will definitely repay this kindness." The Jiao snake's eyes narrowed. "Dragon Emperor? Could it be that your bloodline is the dragon race's bloodline?" "That's not right. The dragon race has a total of 6 bloodlines: the white dragon, black dragon, red dragon, blue dragon, golden dragon, and green dragon. I have seen every single one of them. I am of the blue dragon bloodline," Xiaochen answered honestly. The Jiao snake exclaimed in shock, "The blue dragon bloodline? So, that is the case. I was wondering why your great desolate Ian bloodline was so familiar, but I could not recall it. It turns out that it is the long-extinct blue dragon bloodline." Xiaochen nodded. Then, he looked at the other party and asked, "Senior, what do you think?" "It's fine. It doesn't matter what bloodline you have, what identity you have, or what background you have. Just based on the fact that you are half a disciple of Pan Huang, I will definitely help you with this." The Jiao snake appeared exceptionally straightforward. It did not ask Xiao Chen what the trouble was or ask for any other details. The Jiao snake immediately agreed, making Xiao Chen feel very touched. Just cultivate properly first. Right now, the baleful yin energy is leaking out of your body uncontrollably. Not to mention the waste, if others discover the signs, they might not let you leave. Xiao Chen indicated that he understood. There were many methods in this world, even if one absorbed 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. Like them, they can get it out of your system. Following that, Xiao Chen told the Jiao snake about the trouble he encountered in detail. The Jiao snake smiled and said, I was wondering what it was. It turns out that it is just such a small matter. Don't worry. I will help you with this. I will go to Profound Yin Mountain first and take a look around before leaving. Many thanks. After leaving the underground river, Xiao Chen saw Luo Nan and Xiao Fei who had been waiting for a long time already. Both of them appeared somewhat anxious. After Fei saw Xiao Chen, she revealed a smile. Big brother Xiao Chen, you finally came out. If you still did not come out, senior brother and I would really have to go down and look for you. It's fine. I just spent some time collecting the yin essence stones. There is still half a month. There is no need for us to go anywhere. Let's just stay here and stabilize our cultivation properly. Xiao Chen entered deep thought. Right, that suits me. Since Luo Nan and Fei already gained something, they were not willing to take any more risks. A complete 1,000-year-old baleful yin energy was sufficient for them to cultivate the entire yin essence stage. The vast yin essence energy that the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy brought far surpassed Xiao Chen's expectations. Right now, baleful yin energy leaked out of Xiao Chen's entire body. It was as the Jiao snake said, it was a great waste. The veritable essence energy and yin essence energy in Xiao Chen's dantian mixed together and merged. Xiao Chen found it strange that the veritable essence energy was clearly much weaker. However, when the two merged, the veritable essence energy was the main one. The appearance of the yin essence energy merely strengthened the veritable essence energy, perfecting it. If Xiao Chen guessed right, it should be the same when he advanced to the yang essence stage in the future. Yin essence energy and yang essence energy were used to supplement and strengthen veritable essence energy. Cultivators still focused on veritable essence energy. At this moment, the yin essence energy of the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy had yet to merge with Xiao Chen's veritable essence energy, just a simple mixture. What Xiao Chen needed to do now was to slowly infuse this vast yin essence energy into his veritable essence energy, slowly merging it. When the yin essence energy completely merged, he would have cultivated to the peak of the yin essence stage. Half a month passed peacefully. When Xiao Chen opened his eyes again, the sharpness in them was much more withdrawn. His body no longer leaked any yin essence energy. It was no longer as exaggerated and horrifying as when he first advanced to the yin essence stage. Luo Nan and Fei opened their eyes one after another, giving off the impression that their eyes had lit up. It looked like the two had gained a lot in just half a month. Fei smiled and said, Master definitely did not expect us to improve so much. He will definitely be very happy. Luo Nan smiled embarrassedly and did not say anything. He and Fei were still in a cold war. Back then, Luo Nan did not know what got into him, saying those words and making his junior sister so unhappy. However, it did not matter. It was fine as long as his junior sister was happy now. Let's go. It's time to leave. 1 month had already passed. The surviving sect disciples in the inner region of Profound Yin Island all rushed back. Near the transportation formation, when the sun set, the old man by the transportation formation stopped waiting. By this time, those who had not returned had probably died in the inner region of Profound Yin Island. To think that the Clear Feather sect's Fang Yun and the Flying Snow Palace's Lu Mu did not appear. Could they be dead? This is incredible. The absence of Lu Mu and the others stirred up a commotion in the crowd. Luo Nan and Fei felt somewhat nervous. However, Xiao Chen appeared calm and unruffled. After a while, the group was sent to the edge of Profound Yin Island. Then, they all flew into the sky to meet up with their sections. The blue-clad old man and the half-step primal core realm expert had been waiting on the Tianyi sect's ship for a long time already. When the two saw Xiao Chen and the other two flying over, they revealed expressions of joy. The blue-clad old man's eyelids twitched slightly. He had waited too long for this day. Ha 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 ha. Brother Xiao Chen, this old man knew that you would definitely bring them back safely, the blue-clad old man said with a smile as he strode forward. Ha 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 ha. Brother Fei and Luo Nan handed over their Yin Essence stones. Fei and Luo Nan handed over their Yin Essence stones. This is a superior grade Yin Essence stone. Fei Luo Nan, you ran into 1,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, the blue-clad old man said as he looked at the two in shock. Fei nodded and smiled. Right. Big brother Xiao Chen helped me and senior brother each find a strand of baleful Yin energy. What? This time, the blue-clad old man and the half-step primal core realm old man were even more shocked. As they looked at Xiao Chen, their eyes filled with complicated emotions. If they had not found out that the Black Lotus Church had placed a bounty on Xiao Chen's head, perhaps they could have let Xiao Chen off. For these two strands of 1,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, the Tianyi sect would have to thank Xiao Chen properly. Xiao Chen looked at the blue-clad old man and said, "These are my Yin Essence stones. Seniors, please keep them well. I'll take my leave first." The blue-clad old man carefully put away the Yin Essence stones that Xiao Chen handed over. However, he did not seem to care. He smiled and said, "Young hero Xiao Chen, I really do not know how to repay this great favor. How about we return to the Tianyi sect together? At that time, I'll get the sect master to entertain us properly." Xiao Chen looked around and discovered that the Tianyi sect disciples on the fortress ship had already surrounded him without him realizing it, blocking his way out. That half-step primal core realm old man already placed his right hand on his sword hilt, storing up killing intent. Xiao Chen's expression changed slightly in surprise. After the other party learned that he helped Fei and Luo Nan refine a strand of baleful Yin energy, they still wanted to make a move on him. Killing the donkey after it has outlived its usefulness. Chapter 1578. Xiao Chen repaid his kindness, only to receive such an ending. This was indeed somewhat disappointing. However, Xiao Chen had seen all sorts of people in his life, so his mental state did not fluctuate too much. Revealing a smile, Xiao Chen raised his head to look at the blue-clad old man and said, "Senior, are you planning to force me to stay?" Fei still did not know what was going on. She smiled and said, "Big brother Xiao Chen, how about you go over? Our sect master is pretty nice." Luo Nan felt that something was not quite right. His expression changed in astonishment. "Brother Xiao Chen, you should leave quickly. The situation is not right. My junior brothers are standing in the Tianyi sect's 9 sectors formation." Compared to Fei's naivety and kindness, Luo Nan would sometimes act foolishly because of her. However, Luo Nan was usually more observant. Although Luo Nan did not know what was going on, he immediately sent a voice projection to warn Xiao Chen after discovering that something was wrong. "Many thanks." Xiao Chen immediately felt gratified in his heart. The older the ginger, the spicier it was. However, only the young would not care so much about the pros and cons. "Master, martial uncle, since brother Xiao Chen is not willing to stay, then never mind. I'll go and send him off," Luo Nan said with a smile as he squeezed between the blue-clad old man and Xiao Chen. Luo Nan said with a smile as he squeezed in between the blue-clad old man and Xiao Chen. "Scram to the side. It is not your place to speak." The half-step primal core realm old man did not stand on ceremony, directly smacking Luo Nan to the side with a palm strike. The half-step primal core realm old man did not stand on ceremony, directly smacking Luo Nan to the side. The force was so great that a strong wind suddenly rose on the deck, whistling loudly. "Senior brother, are you all right?" Fei felt startled. She ran over worriedly and helped Luo Nan up. Fei turned her head and frowned. "Martial uncle, why did you hit him so heavily?" Fei turned her head and frowned. Martial uncle, why did you hit him so heavily? The blue-clad old man and the half-step primal core realm old man did not even turn their heads. However, the blue-clad old man said coldly, Luo Nan, watch your junior sister properly. Don't be a busybody. The atmosphere of the place instantly turned cold, as a murderous aura spread out. The 9 people behind him gripped their sword hilts at the same time, their killing intent firmly locked onto Xiao Chen. Senior brother, what is Master trying to do? Fei Er asked, puzzled. It looks like he's going to make a move on Xiao Chen. Why? Luo Nan smiled bitterly and said, who knows? It is probably just some benefits. Actually, it is easy to understand just by thinking about it. How could Master be so kind as to tell Xiao Chen the location of Profoundine Island? He must have planned all of this beforehand. Luo Nan felt somewhat bitter in his heart. His martial uncle's palm strike was really merciless. It even broke his bones. The blue-clad old man looked at Xiao Chen and said indifferently, Xiao Chen, you have to stay today even if you don't want to. It's not up to you. Xiao Chen sneered, I, Xiao Chen, have never seen a shameless person like you in my life. On account of Luo Nan and Fei Er, I'll give you one last chance. Just obediently let me go, and nothing will happen. Otherwise, you will bear the consequences. When the blue-clad old man heard that, he guffawed. Is that so? I have never seen a youth as arrogant as you before. Let me ask you this, what right do you have to make me bear the consequences? As the blue-clad old man laughed maniacally, his aura burst forth. The aura of a minor primal core venerate pressed down on Xiao Chen. The advantage of cultivation allowed his aura to look down on everyone present. Everyone felt a faint pressure, and they did not dare to resist it. The blue-clad old man looked like a king, unstoppable. Xiao Chen, don't think that we do not know your background. We are spies in the Lotus Sect Temple. Our spies in the Lotus Sect Temple inadvertently learned that you are wanted by the Black Lotus Church. Now that the Black Lotus Church is after you, you are a street rat. To think that you still dare to be so arrogant. You must be tired of living. The half-step primal core venerate old man beside the blue-clad old man spoke maliciously as he glared at Xiao Chen. The old man was extremely dissatisfied with Xiao Chen's fearlessness and arrogance. Xiao Chen narrowed his eyes and said sullenly, so, that is the case. I was wondering what was going on. Why did the two of you become so bold all of a sudden? Xiao Chen, you are not allowed to be disrespectful to my master. Just at this moment, Fei Er suddenly shouted at Xiao Chen with a stern expression. Before Xiao Chen could react, he saw Fei Er soar into the air and thrust her sword at Xiao Chen. This sword strike was strangely fast, and it was very sudden. Xiao Chen's timing was pretty good. However, there was no killing Qi at all, just a straightforward attack. However, the sword move was extremely chaotic, lacking any sharpness. Aside from speed, there was no other threat. Xiao Chen moved back slightly. Then, he flicked his finger and knocked Fei Er's sword out of her hand. Big brother Xiao Chen, just hold me hostage and leave. Master has always been very good to me. He will not make a move on me. In the time it took for a spark to fly, Xiao Chen could not make a choice. He could only grab Fei Er's neck with one hand. Junior sister. Luo Nan cried out in fear. His complexion paled somewhat as he felt a strange heartache. Fei Er, you don't have to do this. I can leave as well. I know. From the first time I saw Big Brother Xiao Chen, I knew that Big Brother Xiao Chen would never boast. I'm just worried about Master and Martial Uncle. How about this? After seeing Xiao Chen's various performances on Profoundine Island, as well as his coldness and emotionlessness when he killed Feng Yun, Lu Mu, and the others, Fei Er knew that Xiao Chen would not put on a show. He definitely had a trump card. Fei Er felt somewhat afraid. Fei Er worried about Xiao Chen as well as her master and martial uncle. Right now, this was the best solution. At the very most, her master would punish her when she returned. As long as Big Brother Xiao Chen, her master, and martial uncle were fine, it would be fine. Xiaochen felt somewhat speechless at Fei Er's kindness. After a while, he said, I promise you. Holding Fei Er hostage, Xiaochen retreated step by step. The Tianyi sect disciples behind him had no choice but to open up a path for him. Master, save me. The blue-clad old man raged in his heart. How could he not tell that Fei Er was being held hostage by Xiaochen on purpose? You unfilial bitch. This old man raised you for 10 years and treated you like my own daughter. In just one short month, you actually worked with someone else to cheat me. What use do I have for you? Upon seeing Fei Er's actions, the blue-clad old man became utterly enraged. Killing chi spread out, and his figure flashed as he directly sent a palm strike forward. Boom! When the blue-clad old man sent out his palm strike, his body seemed to merge with space. As he moved forward, space compressed intensely. This put immense pressure on Xiaochen and Fei Er. Being one with nature, the blue-clad old man's body seemed to merge with the surrounding space. As he raised his hand or raised his foot, he could compress space. This was a huge advantage that a primal core cultivator had over a veritable personage. The might of this palm strike did not exceed Xiaochen's expectations. What exceeded Xiaochen's expectations was that the blue-clad old man was deranged, losing all humanity. To think that the blue-clad old man would attack Fei Er. This stunned Xiaochen for a moment. However, Luo Nan, whose heart had been on Fei Er from the start to the end, was not stunned. When Luo Nan saw danger, he did not even think, acting instinctively. Luo Nan leaped over from behind and shielded Fei Er in the time it took for a spark to fly. For the sake of receiving this palm strike, Luo Nan drained all his veritable essence energy, raising his speed to the limit. His defense was close to zero. Pu Ci. The instant the palm strike landed, Luo Nan vomited a mouthful of blood. All the bones in his chest broke, and his heart exploded on the spot. His internal organs all shattered. Luo Nan's life force vanished at a visible rate. Senior brother. Fei Er was so frightened that she started crying. Then, she struggled free of Xiaochen's hand and hugged Luo Nan. Senior brother, why were you so silly? Fei Er hugged Luo Nan, feeling incredible pain. When she checked his injuries, she felt despair, and her tears flowed even more profusely. Junior sister, don't cry. It's fine as long as you are fine. Senior brother knows that you like heroes. However, I really can't do it. I've always been very, very weak. Senior brother, don't say anything. I don't know anything anymore. Don't say anything. Fei Er hugged Luo Nan tightly as if she could save him by doing so. No, there are some things that I need to say. Otherwise, I might not get another chance in this lifetime. I like you. I liked you from the first time I saw you. Back then, I did not really make junior sister angry. I just felt that I was not worthy of junior sister. Blood leaked out of Luo Nan's mouth continuously. However, he showed a smile on his face. This was his first time being so close to his junior sister. He was so close that he could hear her heartbeat, feel her warmth, and understand her worries. Perhaps that was enough. Xiaochen's expression turned scarily cold. He raised his head to look at the stunned blue-clad old man and said coldly, sometimes, people really shouldn't be too kind, especially when facing beasts like you, who are even worse than dogs or pigs. You bastard. You are not qualified to scold me. Everything happened because of you. I'll kill you. The blue-clad old man roared somewhat crazily. It's all because of you. Whoosh. However, just at this moment, a horrifying aura flew over. Before the 9 Tianyi sect disciples on the ship could react, a huge force pulled their bodies out. The Jiao snake opened its mouth and gulped, easily swallowing the 9 people. Then, it leaped onto the ship. A late-stage major primal core ferocious beast. You are a beast tamer. A huge shadow immediately encased the blue-clad old man and the half-step primal core realm old man. Sorry, I came too late. Profoundine Mountain is too big, so I was delayed for half a day. It's fine. You are not too late. Xiao Qin said expressionlessly. The Jiao snake roared and swung its tail. The blue-clad old man and the half-step primal core realm old man could not block at all. Pu ci. The blue-clad old man vomited a large mouthful of blood and knelt on the ground. This was especially so for the half-step primal core realm old man. With this strike, he directly fell to the ground, his limbs and bones suffering from a huge impact. Chapter 1579. Whoosh! The Jiao snake opened its mouth, and the half-step primal core realm old man, who could not move in the first place, got sucked into its mouth. The sound of swallowing rang out as the Jiao snake directly swallowed the old man. Such a huge difference in strength was not something that could be made up for with skill or experience. Before the Jiao snake, the old man had no chance at all. Xiao Qin stretched out his hand and stopped the Jiao snake, which was preparing to attack the blue-clad old man. Brother Xiao Qin, don't kill me. I can agree to anything. I'll give you this ship and all the spirit jades on me. When the blue-clad old man saw this scene, he thought that he had a chance to live, so he immediately begged Xiao Qin for mercy. Xiao Qin revealed a disgusted expression as he said indifferently, Fei did not let me hold you hostage to help me but to beg me to spare your life. Unfortunately, you old thing, you do not treasure it at all. Is there any use in begging now? What? When the blue-clad old man heard that, he looked at Fei in disbelief. Who could have imagined that Fei would not even look at him, only hugging Luonan tightly? Young hero Xiao Qin, please spare my life. I will definitely turn over a new leaf and become a new person. Just take it as giving Fei some face. Fei help master and say a few words. The blue-clad old man was in a sorry state. He only wanted to live, so shameless that it made others want to vomit. Do it, then. Xiao Qin said coldly. The Jiao snake roared and launched itself at the blue-clad old man. Whoosh! The blue-clad old man knew that he was no match for the Jiao snake. After he stood up, he fled in a panic. The Jiao snake turned into a flash of black light and quickly followed. One man and one snake entered the starry heavens. Xiao Qin did not continue watching. It was just a matter of time before the Jiao snake caught up to the blue-clad old man. Big brother Xiao Qin, please save my senior brother. Please save him. Fei was already covered in tears. When she saw Xiao Qin walk over, she quickly said, You definitely have a way, right? You definitely have a way. Xiao Qin remained silent, not daring to answer. He only said softly, Let me take a look. Yes. Senior brother, don't fall asleep. Big brother Xiao Qin will definitely save you. After a simple inspection of Luo Nan's injuries, Xiao Qin frowned heavily. Actually, there was no need to check. Just by looking at the life essence that Luo Nan's body slowly gave off and his increasingly pale complexion, Xiao Qin knew that he was on the verge of death. Xiao Qin had seen too many parting by death in his life. During the Kunlun demonic calamity, Xiao Qin would never forget the scenes of the Kunlun geniuses dying one by one. However, when looking at Luo Nan's current appearance, Xiao Qin still found it hard to remain calm. That blue-clad old man was truly ruthless. Xiao Qin showed no mercy at all. He had used his full power as a minor primal core realm cultivator to kill Fei back then. Big brother Xiao Qin, how is it? Fei looked at Xiao Qin in anticipation. Xiao Qin shook his head, indicating that there was nothing he could do. His 5 viscera and 6 bowels were all shattered, especially his heart. However, this was not a problem. At this cultivation realm, the heart was no longer a vital point. The most important thing was that the blue-clad old man's palm strike had destroyed Luo Nan's dantian. This had already destroyed a cultivator's foundation, causing the physical body to lose its ability to recover. Unless there was a supreme method to help Luo Nan reconstruct his dantian. Senior brother. When Fei heard that, she revealed a sorrowful expression and cried in pain. Luo Nan squeezed out a smile, wanting to console Fei-er. However, he found that he could not raise his hands. Fei-er quickly grabbed his hands and placed them on her cheeks. Xiaochen entered deep thought. Then, he took out a medicinal pill from when he left the Blue Dragon Palace. This was one of the treasures that the item spirits left for him, the Blood Cloud Pill. No matter how severe the injuries were, it could heal them. However, it could not help Luo Nan reconstruct his dantian. It could only treat the symptoms and not the root cause. It could only preserve Luo Nan's life for now, unable to truly save him. Even so, Xiaochen did not hesitate to let Luo Nan consume this precious Blood Cloud Pill. This is the Blood Cloud Pill. It can temporarily stabilize his injuries. When Senior Jiao Snake returns, I will think of a way with him. After consoling Fei-er, Xiaochen left silently. Soon, the Jiao Snake's gargantuan body reappeared before Xiaochen. I already killed him. Xiaochen, what happened over there? The Jiao Snake asked in a whisper as it looked at Fei-er and Luo Nan, giving a simple explanation. Xiaochen gave a rough account of what happened earlier. Sorry, I really came too late. I went to find the profound Yin fruit for you, wanting to help you refine the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy as quickly as possible. Had I known, I would not have let that old thing die so easily. He is truly heartless. After the Jiao Snake heard that, it felt both rage and regret. Xiaochen thanked the Jiao Snake softly. Then, he asked, Senior, do you know if there are any natural treasures or medicinal pills in the Great Thousand Realms that can reconstruct the dantian? I already used the Blood Cloud Pill to stabilize his injuries. It should be able to delay for some time. Blood Cloud Pill. That is a holy pill of the dragon race. Even among holy pills, it is at the peak. At the crucial moment, it is equivalent to having an extra life. You are really willing to part with it. After the Jiao Snake heard that, it felt greatly shocked. Xiaochen smiled bitterly and said, what's the point? His internal organs are all damaged from the inside out. The damage to his meridians is severe as well. His physical body's foundation is already damaged, and his dantian is destroyed. Even the Blood Cloud Pill cannot save him. We need to find a medicinal pill or natural treasure that can reconstruct the dantian. The Jiao Snake thought for a while. After a while, it said, there are definitely medicinal pills that can reconstruct the dantian in the Great Thousand Realms. I followed Pan Huang when I was young and saw some. However, I do not know how long the Blood Cloud Pill can help him last. 1 month should be fine. In that case, bring him to Purple Sun City. That is the center of the Purple Sun region. There is the largest auction house and the largest market in the Purple Sun region. There is no lack of talented alchemists there. The experts of the other astral regions also come there. Purple Sun City, Xiaochen thought to himself twice. The next destination should be Purple Sun City, right? Since it was the center of the Purple Sun Great Realm, there should be a lot of information there. He should be able to find out something about Ancestor Dragon City and the dragon race. Whoosh! The Jiao Snake opened its mouth and spat out an azure-colored spirit fruit. A faint layer of frost covered the surface of the spirit fruit, exuding a cold chi. This is the profound Yin fruit. I specially found it for you. I fought with an old turtle for this profound Yin fruit, delaying me. Many thanks, Senior. After Xiaochen received it, he immediately felt that this profound Yin fruit was very valuable. The most important thing was that it could help him quickly refine the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. There is no need to be so polite with me. Since I have nothing to do, I'll send you off. Purple Sun City has a lot of people. I'm afraid that you will be at a disadvantage when you go there. That would be great. The Jiao Snake's figure continuously shrank, turning into a small snake and entering the ship's hold. Xiaochen turned his head back and glanced at Luo Nan and Fei-er, who were still leaning on each other. Then, he sighed softly and returned to the ship's hold. Purple Sun City was a long journey. This ship happened to be ownerless, so it was best to use it as a means of transportation. Inside the ship's hold, Xiaoqin continued chatting with the Jiao snake. He still had many questions to ask the Jiao snake. Since he had just arrived in the Great Thousand Realms, he could gain a lot of experience with a veteran around. Time slowly passed. The ship quickly flew towards Purple Sun City in the starry heavens. Purple Sun City was in the Purple Sun Great Realm. The ship traveled at full speed. Actually, 1 month was somewhat rushed. 4 days later, the ship flew past the Profound Light Great Realm. After another 4 or 5 Great Realms, it would reach the Purple Sun Great Realm. Xiaoqin, who was doing his best to refine the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, was startled awake by Fei who knocked on the door. Big brother Xiaoqin, there is a ship following us from a distance. An astral pirate ship. When traveling in the starry heavens, the thing one worried about the most was running into pirate ships. Such a ship following them from a distance was very likely a pirate ship. I'll go and take a look. Xiaoqin followed Fei out to the top of the ship. He had already torn down the Tianyi Sect's banner by the side. From a distance, there was indeed the silhouette of a ship. However, it was at the limits of Xiaoqin's vision, so he could not see it clearly. Heavenly Eye. A divine eye quickly flew out from Xiaoqin's forehead. After a while, everything on that ship appeared in his eyes. Black Scimitar. It was indeed a pirate ship. When Xiaoqin clearly saw the banner on the ship, he muttered to himself in surprise. Wasn't the Black Scimitar pirate group already destroyed? Chapter 1580. Big brother Xiaoqin, what should we do? This ship has been following us for at least 8 to 10 hours without changing direction. Fei said somewhat worriedly, I saw that big brother Xiaoqin had been meditating, so I did not disturb you. Xiaoqin smiled and consoled, it's fine. There's no need to worry. Just go and take care of brother Luonan. I'll deal with this. Fei nodded obediently and silently withdrew. After Fei withdrew, the shrunken Jiao snake slithered to Xiaoqin's shoulder and said softly, there's no need to be nervous. This is just a mediocre pirate group. The strongest is just an early-stage minor primal core cultivator. After all, the Jiao snake was one of the top 10 pirate groups near the Profound Light Great Realm. However, in the eyes of the Jiao snake, it was not a mediocre pirate group. Xiaoqin smiled faintly and said, I know. This Tianyi Sect's fortress ship is a little slow, and my cycle throne is not completed yet. Coincidentally, I can borrow this pirate ship to travel, saving me some time. I was thinking the same thing. There are strict standards for the construction of pirate ships. The Pirate Alliance has refining rooms, formation masters, and other strange people who study all sorts of pirate ships and provide them to the various pirate groups. When Xiaoqin heard that, he asked somewhat interestedly, Pirate Alliance? Yes. This Purple Sun region is rather remote. Most of the great realms it governs do not have any major factions stationed there. Only Purple Sun City is slightly more bustling. When you go there, you can see their branch. Interesting. Even the pirate groups have an open and above-board alliance. Ha! This Great Thousand Realms is much more interesting than you imagine. You just entered and have not even seen the tip of the iceberg yet. When you reach Purple Sun City, you will be able to broaden your horizons. They're coming. As the two spoke, the Black Scimitar pirate ship caught up at an extremely fast speed. They are rather tactful, taking the initiative to stop when they see the Black Scimitar. The merchant ship in front, hand over 10,000 spirit jades, and this great lord will let you off. When the black-clad man on the pirate ship saw the fortress ship stop, he thought that the ship feared the Black Scimitar. He rejoiced in his heart and did not demand an exorbitant price. When Xiaoqin heard this, he revealed a faint smile. It was still an old acquaintance. He had not expected that Xiaoqin would make a comeback and obtain another big ship. 100,000 spiritual jades. It's not a lot. Come and get it. The burly man in black frowned slightly. Why did this voice sound so familiar? Captain, this person is really tactful. I'll go and retrieve the spirit jades, the pirate at the side said with a smile. "What are you laughing at? Give me the boat and drive closer." The black-robed man was a bit annoyed. He ruthlessly knocked on this fellow's head, got up, and walked to the bow of the ship. When the ship came closer, they saw Xiao Chen, dressed in white, at the top of the ship. The eyes of the burly man in black immediately popped out. "Motherfucker! So it's you, you little bastard. There's a path to heaven, but you don't want to take it. There's no door to hell, but you barge into it yourself. Charge over and kill everyone on the ship. Don't touch the one in white, leave him for me." His memory of Xiao Chen was still fresh in his mind. His pirate ship had been dismantled while he was still alive. This made the burly man the laughing stock of the surrounding pirate groups. This was a great humiliation that he would never forget. "There's no need. I'll come over myself," Xiao Chen said indifferently. Then, he leaped into the air and flew towards the deck of the pirate ship. "Don't stop him. Let him come over." The black-robed man revealed a sinister smile as he placed his right hand on the saber on his back. "Come on. This old man will hack you to death with one saber strike." The black-robed man mocked in his heart. An insignificant in-essence stage cultivator dares to steal a ship single-handedly. I will definitely teach him a lesson today. Whoosh! The murderous intent in the black-robed man's eyes suddenly condensed. Before Xiao Chen landed, he suddenly drew his saber and hacked. Prediction. Given Xiao Chen's current speed, he would be struck by this saber light the instant he landed. The black saber light was like a terrifying gale, incredibly tyrannical. This was the black-robed man's signature move, Black Wind Flash. However, who could have imagined that when Xiao Chen landed, he would suddenly accelerate? Xiao Chen's body tilted slightly, looking like a streamlined ink flame tiger. Flames burned on his body. Xiao Chen's speed suddenly tripled. The black-robed man's berserk saber strike instantly broke the afterimage that Xiao Chen left behind. The remnant saber light shot out, eliciting miserable cries from the surrounding pirates. Xiao Chen turned around and drew his saber. In the time it took for a spark to fly, he also made a prediction. Whoosh! When the black-robed man's saber strike missed, he quickly changed his move and turned around to face Xiao Chen. A ghostly saber light suddenly appeared and sliced towards the black-robed man's neck. This startled the black-robed man into retreating frantically. His feet knocked over the railing, and he stumbled, nearly falling over. Xiao Chen sheathed his saber and hugged the lunar shadow saber. Then, he looked at the black-robed man and said, "There is no need to kneel. I cannot accept such a big bow. I'll kneel to your mother." Xiao Chen's mockery was like adding oil to the fire. The black-robed man stood firmly and leaped up, hacking down at Xiao Chen's head. The black-robed man only had one thought in his mind, to kill Xiao Chen to vent the hatred in his heart. However, when the saber light arrived, Xiao Chen did not move at all. Instead, he looked at the black-robed man with a trace of mockery. A trick? After all, this brat before the black-robed man had managed to turn the situation around by sending out many demon-toned bats for no reason. It was another ruthless person who had dismantled his pirate ship with his bare hands. He had to be careful. The black-robed man felt uncertain. He felt conflicted, and many openings appeared in his perfect saber technique. When Xiao Chen saw the situation, he smiled faintly and did not draw his saber. Xiao Chen struck the openings in his opponent's saber technique before launching a strong counterattack. He brandished his scabbard and flustered the black-robed man. The black-robed man moved back continuously. He could not bring out the advantage of his cultivation at all. Damn you! How dare you toy with me? After being toyed with by Xiao Chen, the black-robed man was enraged. He wished that he could immediately kill Xiao Chen. The black-robed man could no longer care about anything else. His aura suddenly surged. The aura of a primal core expert was completely unleashed, making the hearts of the surrounding pirates tremble and forcing them to retreat. The pressure on Xiao Chen increased significantly. He knew that the black-robed man was truly enraged and wanted to fight it out with him. Xiao Qin could not help entering deep thought. This black-robed man's strength is passable. However, his mental state is extremely weak. Xiao Qin shook his head and said softly to the Jiao snake. Seeing that Xiao Qin still did not move this time, the black-robed man roared, "Damn you! You want to toy with me again? If this old man does not chop you to death this time, I will change my surname to yours." Bang! 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 The black-robed man ran over quickly. With every step, the pirate ship shook intensely. The hull of the ship rocked as if it was being tossed by monstrous waves in the sea. All the pirates on the ship could not stand still. Their bodies swayed left and right as they did their best to grab onto something. "It looks like you are destined to change your surname to mine." Boom! The unremarkable little black snake on Xiao Chen's shoulder suddenly swelled up. The Jiao snake stood upright beside Xiao Chen. The aura of a late-stage major primal core expert spread out from the Jiao snake's body. A pair of scarlet eyes looked down coldly at the black-robed man from above. Pu Ci. The black-robed man's aura instantly crumbled. A strong sense of helplessness spread throughout his entire body. Before the Jiao snake's cold gaze, the black-robed man trembled and took the initiative to scatter this move. His body trembled in fear. Then, he directly fell to the ground and retreated continuously. A late-stage major primal core ferocious beast. The black-robed man revealed an expression of extreme horror. The berserk rage of the black-robed man seemed to be extinguished by a pool of ice water, replaced by boundless fear. This lowly one had eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. To senior, no. To young hero, no. To big brother, I apologize. The black-robed man put down his saber and knelt on the ground, apologizing to Xiao Qin. There was an uncrossable chasm between a minor primal core cultivator and a major primal core cultivator. Furthermore, the black-robed man was only an early-stage minor primal core cultivator. The Jiao snake, whose cultivation was infinitely close to the Cloud Sea realm, was like a god before the black-robed man, unable to exist at all. The Jiao snake could kill the black-robed man without any suspense, easily crushing him. Even if he did not want to, he had to kneel. Xiao Qin said indifferently, "Get up. I already said that I cannot accept your kneeling." "I can accept it, I can accept it. When Big Brother speaks, this lowly one will just kneel and listen." The black-robed man endured the humiliation as he spoke in a submissive voice. This person was someone who knew when to submit and when to stand tall. Since he wanted to kneel, so be it. "What is your name?" "This lowly one is Wang Suo." "Good. Wang Suo, I'll tell you. This ship is mine now. You and your subordinates have to listen to me. Immediately change course and go to the Xiang Great Realm." "Damn it." Wang Suo could not help cursing. Previously, Xiao Qin tore apart his ship. This time, he was even more ruthless, directly confiscating it. Xiao Qin looked at the other party, not saying anything. Big Brother is right. This little brother will change the contract and transfer this ship. The black-robed man, Wang Suo, felt his heart bleeding. However, he had no choice but to submit. "Why am I so unlucky? I ran into this jinx twice, each time worse than the last." Chapter 1581. Pirate ships have contracts. Xiao Qin felt suspicious. When he saw the contract, he confirmed that it was true. Every pirate ship was custom-made by the Pirate Alliance and had a special serial number. The Pirate Alliance had a record of the purchase. If one wanted to transfer it legally, the contractor had to take the initiative to do so. Xiao Qin held up the contract and looked through it. When he saw the last line, he read it out softly, "All those who officially own a pirate ship will automatically become an honorable member of my Pirate Alliance. This cannot be reversed or withdrawn. Our journey is far from just the starry sea." This last line was written in an extremely unremarkable font. If one did not pay attention, one would not notice it. "Wang Suo, What's up with this last line? The black-clad man smiled and said, Big brother, call me Xiao Suo. I already said that I will take your surname. This last line. Only the Pirate Alliance controls the manufacturing of pirate ships. This is the symbol of pirates. Actually, there is no need for proof. With one look, others will recognize you as an astral pirate. Xiao Qin gave the black-clad man a suspicious look. Then, he turned his head to ask the Jiao snake. The Jiao snake said sullenly, he is right. However, you are currently poor. It is fine for you to join this pirate alliance. It will not prevent you from joining other sects in the future. Being a pirate is a free profession in the first place. A thought occurred to Xiao Qin. I will be protected by the pirate alliance. You are overthinking this. Look at that man. He is so cowardly. If he really has the pirate alliance's protection, how could he be so cowardly? However, there are still some other benefits. For example, some profound tools, secret manuals, and natural treasures of unknown origins can be sold quickly in the black market that the Pirate Alliance controls. The black market that they control is also one of the largest in the entire Great Thousand Realms. Given this, there was nothing wrong with joining this Pirate Alliance. Right now, he did not have any status. It would be fine to use the identity of a pirate to cover it up. Big brother, the moment I saw you, I knew you had the potential to be a pirate. You will definitely have a great future if you join the Pirate Alliance. I already took the initiative to remove my name from this contract. Big brother, just leave your name. The black-clad man praised sincerely when he thought about how Xiao Qin dismantled the ship with his bare hands. After thinking for a while, Xiao Qin finally made his choice. He needed to rush to Purple Sun City as soon as possible. At the same time, he also needed an identity to deceive others. The moment Xiao Qin signed the contract, in the boundless starry sky, separated by thousands of great worlds. The primordial world, the most mysterious son of an era, you have finally appeared. A mysterious voice echoed in the gloomy black godly mountain. Countless black lotus flowers bloomed in the sky. Amidst the solemn and dignified atmosphere, there was a sinister aura. Each lotus had a vertical eye on it, emitting layers of Buddhist light. Immediately after, a gigantic Buddha statue appeared behind the owner of the voice. However, this Buddha statue was completely black. Amidst the solemn appearance, the eyes that looked at the people of the world were cold, without any warmth. A ball of black light burst forth from the ancestral Buddha statue and radiated outwards. The might of the Buddha filled the air, reaching its limit and burning into black flames. All the vertical eyes gathered together, forming a huge divine eye. Its gaze enveloped the mountain range within a radius of 10,000 miles. Then, it spread out towards the boundless starry sky. At that moment, everything in the great world where the black mountain range was fell silent, as if plunged into eternal darkness. At the same time, a small number of cloud sea powerhouses in the starry domains near the Purple Sun region vaguely caught some traces in the air. Inside the black mountain range, an ancient Buddhist temple stood on every mountain range. Believers prostrated themselves on the ground along the mountain paths. Before this mysterious phenomenon, they prayed piously, not daring to show any disrespect. The sect venerate commands to summon the 4 protectors and 72 arhats. Within the dark and cold mountain range, a Buddhist voice resounded between the heavens and the earth. That voice reached the depths of every believer's soul, making them tremble. Right after the sect venerate spoke, the black flames burning in the sky suddenly extinguished, looking like resplendent fireworks that vanished in an instant. The boundless Buddhist might vanished. Black Lotus Secret Seal, Thousand Eyes Divine Eye. Master was injured by the Thunder Sound Temple's abbot 1,000 years ago and has been recuperating. Why did he spend so much effort to execute this supreme mystic ability this time? On a lone peak in the Black Mountain Range stood a handsome monk with a peaceful expression on his face. This monk wore white monk robes and held Buddhist prayer beads in his hand as he muttered to himself. Whoosh! No one knew how this white-clad monk stood up. Suddenly, this white-clad monk appeared in a cultured and elegant manner on the main peak of the Black Mountain Range. His aura was peaceful and serene, cultured and elegant, simple and serene. This was a stark contrast to this mountain range shrouded in darkness all year round. Holding the Buddhist prayer beads in his right hand, the white-clad monk walked in step by step. At the end of the mountain path was an ancient Buddhist temple. Black statues lined both sides of the road in front of the temple as the white-clad monk walked over. 72 arhats wearing black kasayas stood on both sides of the temple with cold expressions. The white-clad monk knew that these 72 black-clad arhats were all major primal core realm cultivators. Furthermore, they were the cream of the crop among major primal core realm cultivators. Regular major primal core realm cultivators were not strong enough before them. Aside from these, there were 4 protectors in gorgeous clothes holding Buddhist staffs. These 4 protectors were even stronger, having already broken through the primal core realm to the cloud sea realm. They were super experts who could cultivate soul energy. Even in the core of the Great Thousand Realms, they could be considered experts. In the Grave Sea Cluster, where the Purple Sun region was, they could be considered peak experts. Wherever they went, they would be overlord-level existences. Holy Sun Ming Xian. Upon seeing this white-clad monk, the 4 protectors bowed slightly and greeted him respectfully. After the 4 protectors bowed, the 72 arhats bowed in unison. Come in, then. The doors to the temple opened with a buzz. A Buddha statue stood on the countless steps in front of the temple. A weak-looking old man sat on a black lotus platform below the Buddha statue with his eyes closed. This old man was the Black Lotus Church's church master. He was the mastermind behind the Kunlun realm's demonic calamity, someone that Shaoqin had to kill. Greetings, Master. Greetings, Black Lotus Church's church ancestor. In the dark hall, everyone respectfully bowed to the Black Lotus Church's church master. The lotus platform slowly rose, and the Black Lotus Church's church master looked at everyone below. Buddhist light flickered in his eyes. It was as if he could destroy everyone present with just a glance. Sect ancestor, you spent so much effort to cast the Black Lotus mystic seal. Did you gather all of us here to discuss something important? Are we going to destroy a rank 3 sect and recruit more believers? With all the experts present together, they could easily annihilate a huge 3rd-grade sect. I want you to personally find a person and bring him back to me. The Black Lotus Church's church master said slowly, his voice deep and hoarse. Everyone revealed flabbergasted expressions. They were slightly surprised, and their expressions were strange. For the sake of finding one person, they gathered nearly all the peak experts of the Black Lotus Church. Where did this person come from? The person I'm looking for is the reincarnation of the strongest expert of the immortal epoch. He possesses limitless potential. I need this person very much. The Black Lotus Church also needs this person. You have to find him for me. Do not be careless. The Black Lotus Church's church master's gaze sank, making everyone's hearts tremble as they felt an incomparably terrifying pressure. Did you hear me? Yes, we did. Sensing the gravity of the Black Lotus Church's church master's words, no one dared to show any dissatisfied expression. Where is this person? The Black Lotus Church's church master remained silent for a long time before replying. He is in the Grave Sea Cluster. The 4 protectors, the group of arhats, and the Holy Sun Ming Xian were all stupefied. The Grave Sea Cluster was astonishingly vast. The entire Grave Sea Cluster had hundreds of starfields similar to the Purple Sun region. If one searched every starfield, one would not be able to find it all even after several decades. Search the starfields near the Purple Sun region. I planted the Black Lotus mark on this person. As long as you get within a certain range of him, you will be able to sense it. The Black Lotus Church's church master felt somewhat tired. Even after executing the magic skill of the Thousand Eyes magic skill, he could not pinpoint Shaoqin, only a rough area. The Black Lotus Church's church master thought that Shaoqin definitely had a treasure that could cover up the Black Lotus mark. Left with no choice, the Black Lotus Church's church master could only get the 4 protectors, the 72 arhats, and his proud disciples to go out and search. After the Black Lotus Church's church master carefully explained, these arhats and protectors understood. This way, they could determine the general direction. Furthermore, this person had the Black Lotus mark on him, which greatly reduced the difficulty. That will be all, then. Make your preparations and depart the day after tomorrow. Holy Sun Ming Xian, you can stay behind. The others can leave. After everyone left, the Black Lotus Church's church master looked at the Holy Sun Ming Xian and said seriously, "You must find it strange why I went to such great lengths to find such a person, right?" Ming Xian nodded and said, "Disciple does not understand. However, Master's decision definitely has its reasons." The Black Lotus Church's church master looked at Ming Xian, his eyes filled with anticipation. "I'll tell you this. He has the demonic bone relic of my Black Lotus Church's founding ancestor. In his previous life, he used this demonic bone relic to successfully reincarnate. Do you understand now?" The Holy Sun Ming Xian's expression changed drastically. Clearly, these words shocked him. Disciple understands. Disciple will definitely bring this person to Master. Chapter 1582. The speed of the pirate ship had indeed increased significantly. Most importantly, there were sufficient crew members to operate the ship. This allowed the energy released by the formation to be fully utilized. In addition, the black-robed man was an experienced captain, so he was naturally much faster than the original ship. Xiao Chen's life didn't change much. With the help of the mysterious Yin grass, he quickly refined the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. Now, his strength was improving every day. The effect of the mysterious Yin grass was amazing. At the very least, it sped up Xiao Chen's refinement of the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy by more than 3 times. Now, he might not even need a month. As a result, Xiao Chen had no choice but to start thinking about the Yang baleful qi in advance. After refining 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, one had to absorb 10,000-year-old baleful Yang energy as well. However, a fortuitous encounter like the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy was hard to come by in 1,000 years. It required too many coincidences. For this reason, Xiao Chen had no choice but to discuss it with the Jiao snake. After learning about Xiao Chen's purpose for coming, the Jiao snake said, 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. You had better not think about that. Being able to absorb 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy is already a great fortuitous encounter. Everything in the world was predetermined, and everything had its own conclusions. It's impossible for you to encounter another 10,000-year-old baleful Yang. Xiao Chen nodded. I feel that it is impossible, too. Being able to obtain the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy is luck and Senior Jiao Snake's help. It was a coincidence that I encountered the 10,000-year baleful Yin energy. It was even more of a coincidence that I met you. The Jiao Snake paused for a moment before saying, however, the cultivation of cultivators cannot always rely on coincidences. You were right to make plans for this matter. Xiao Chen looked at the Jiao Snake and said, given Senior Jiao Snake's experience, do you have any suggestions? The best way is naturally to join a sect. The outstanding talents of those sects will not worry about the baleful Yin and baleful Yang. The sect's old monsters will be running around looking for them. You can't compete in this, so you can only rely on external help. Senior, please elaborate. The Jiao Snake sighed and said in a deep voice, if it were an ordinary person, this matter would be very easy to resolve. However, the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy you absorbed must have a corresponding grade of baleful Yang energy. Lowering the standard is a little troublesome. However, I remember that Pan Huang obtained an alchemic recipe in the past. It recorded a method that could condense baleful Yang energy. Then, with the corresponding spirit herbs, one could refine the heavenly Yang pill. Sky Yang pill. Xiao Chen was confused. What did this pill have to do with the baleful Yang energy that he wanted to absorb? The Jiao Snake explained, this heavenly Yang pill can condense 100 strands of baleful Yin Yang. Think about it. If 100,000-year-old strands of baleful yin-yang condense all their essence, would it be any weaker than 10,000-year-old baleful yin-yang? Xiao Chen thought about it carefully and was shocked. Is there really such a pill? If that's true, then wouldn't the disciples of large sects be able to absorb 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy and 10,000-year-old baleful yang energy at the perfected being realm? How strong would the sects be when they grow up? Xiao Chen had personally experienced the immense energy contained in 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. If everyone in a sect could build such a strong foundation at the perfected being realm, it would be unimaginably terrifying. The Jiao snake shook its head and said, "You are overthinking. Firstly, 1,000-year-old baleful yin energy and baleful yang energy are already very difficult to find. It is impossible for a sect to prepare one for every disciple. Secondly, not everyone can absorb 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. After all, some cultivators cannot even refine 2,000-year-old baleful yin energy." Xiao Chen felt enlightened. That seems to make sense. There is still the most important point. What? Senior, you don't remember the alchemic recipe? I remember the alchemic recipe. A snake's memory is the best. You cannot compare to me in this aspect. Most importantly, the alchemist who created this alchemic recipe did not create the heavenly yin pill. Hence, many disciples who absorbed the heavenly yang pill exploded and died when they advanced to the primal core realm. Seeing Xiao Chen's expression change slightly, the Jiao snake continued, "After that, this alchemic recipe became a forbidden medicine and was sealed away. Now, it should be completely lost." Xiao Chen entered deep thought. "Senior, please give me the alchemic recipe first. I'll make a decision after that." "All right. Think about it carefully. This is the final step. If you really cannot do it, you can only force a portion of the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy out of your body. At that time, you will have a better choice." After obtaining the alchemic recipe, Xiao Chen walked out with a somewhat sullen expression. "Captain, we are almost at the Purple Sun Great Realm." The moment Xiao Chen left the ship's hold, he ran into an excited black-clad man on the deck. "Oh, I'll go and take a look." When Xiao Chen arrived at the bow of the ship, he looked out into the starry heavens ahead. There was a purple star that stood out from the other stars, giving off a strange light. With one glance, one could tell the difference in the vast starry heavens. That was the Purple Sun Great Realm. The current Great Realms were formed from the fragments of the Great Desolate Continent. Compared to stars, there was a unique field that existed in the Great Desolate Aeon, suitable for the reproduction of life and the birth of civilization. No matter how big a star was, without a field, there could not be a civilization. Only terrifying astral beasts could survive on it. "Captain, we are about to pass through the field. The field of this Purple Sun Great Realm is rather strong. However, it is clearly not a problem for Captain." There was no need for the black-clad man to say anything. Xiao Chen could already feel it. As Xiao Chen's physical body passed through the field, the scene before him magnified continuously. It was like a sesame-sized painting magnified 1,000 times before his eyes. This was the first time Xiao Chen passed through such a field. It felt rather novel. At the same time, he also felt that the field that the black-clad man mentioned was rather strong. Without a certain level of strength, one would not be able to pass through it. After Xiao Chen passed through the field, the scene before him suddenly opened up. The air was fresh, much better than in the starry heavens. When Xiao Chen looked around, this Purple Sun Great Realm was a boundless continent. Most of the place was desolate and uninhabited. Only a city stood in the center of the continent. That should be Purple Sun City. Even from several million kilometers away, one could still clearly see the city's silhouette. One could easily imagine how grand and majestic the city was. Above his head was a patch of purple sky that seemed to never disperse, as if it would forever be squeezed together. "Captain, let's go to the Pirate Alliance first. After traveling in the starry heavens for so long, this pirate ship needs to be tidied up," the black-clad man suggested excitedly to Xiao Chen. "Get your subordinates to leave. Accompany me to another place. Oh. When the black-clad man heard that, he immediately became somewhat dispirited. What happened next made the black-clad man even more depressed. Xiaochen got off the ship and summoned a black chariot. To think that Xiaochen wanted the black-clad man to be the coachman. Big brother, look. I am a minor primal core realm expert, after all. Isn't it a little too? The black-clad man looked bleak as he looked at Xiaochen, not willing to do this. Xiaochen thought for a while and felt that this was fine. He took the reins and said, I'll do it, then. You are responsible for showing me the way and helping me find a larger tavern. Alright, that's a good idea. Xiao Suo laughed loudly. However, he immediately felt a chill run through his body, scaring him into trembling. He quickly said, let me do it. How can I let Big Brother do such menial work for me? That Jiao Snake is still around. Senior Jiao Snake, there is no need to scare him like that. Xiaochen smiled bitterly. Naturally, he knew that it was the Jiao Snake's doing. It's fine. I can tell that this person is a talent. I'll help you tame him during this period so that you can use him in the future. That's right. With a helper, it would be much easier to handle many miscellaneous matters. With this thought, Xiaochen ignored the Jiao Snake's actions and entered the Cycle War chariot. Fei Er was doing her best to take care of Luo Nan. However, Luo Nan's complexion clearly weakened. That was the effect of the blood cloud pill. As time went by, its effects weakened. Seeing Xiaochen enter, Fei Er immediately said, Big brother Xiaochen, you are here. Xiaochen nodded casually. Then, he looked at Luo Nan and asked, how is he? The worry on Fei Er's face did not fade away. She said softly, Senior brother's mental state has been deteriorating over the past few days. He seems a little afraid. Luo Nan revealed a smile as he held Fei Er's hand. Then, he consoled, Junior sister, I am already very satisfied with being able to live until now. These days have been the happiest days of my life. Then, Luo Nan turned his head and looked at Xiaochen. Brother Xiaochen, I'm sorry. I really misunderstood you in the past. I am already very grateful to you for doing so much for me. I feel that I do not have much time left. Brother Xiaochen, please don't waste any more resources and time on me. Xiaochen smiled and said, don't overthink. Just because Fei Er calls me Big Brother, I should help you to the end. Furthermore, without you protecting me, I would not have been able to absorb the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. Since you are already in Purple Sun City, don't overthink and rest well. Chapter 1583. Purple Sun City was the only large city in the Purple Sun Great Realm. It had millions of years of history, an extremely long history. The vast and majestic ancient city had experienced the baptism of countless years, but it still retained its ancient charm, extolling the ancient legends. On top of the city gate, there was an incomparably beautiful beast carved on top of the purple clouds. That was the legendary divine beast Golden Crow that was born from flames. When its wings unfolded, every single feather was glistening with a brilliant golden radiance. It was filled with an ancient aura. Long ago, it was said that this Purple Sun Great Realm was a stronghold of the Golden Crow race. Purple Sun City was built on the Golden Crow race remnant. Although the pure-blooded Golden Crows were extinct and the descendants of the Golden Crows were long gone. However, the native cultivators still worshipped the divine bird that was born in the flames. This was evident from the various symbols on Purple Sun City. Purple Sun City sat in the center of this continent, surrounded by boundless deserts with surging yellow sand. However, none of this affected the prosperity of the city in the slightest. This was because it was the center of the entire Purple Sun region. Countless people from the thousands of great realms of the Purple Sun region would come here every day. Most of the businesses in this city were trading. There were very few native cultivators in the Purple Sun Great Realm. Rumor had it that a rank 3 sect had existed here a long time ago. But later on, for some reason, it declined. It was attacked by everyone and destroyed in the tides of history. This made Purple Sun City a neutral city. Right now, only a few strong rank 2 sects had taken root in the vicinity of Purple Sun City, forming an equal footing. Most of the cultivators who came here were looking for something they fancied or to sell their treasures. This city was also the largest city in the entire Purple Sun region. The martial artists who came here were at least at the perfected being realm. From time to time, one could see primordial core realm supremacies. The city's environment was complicated, and there were people from all walks of life. Sometimes, a random person might be a peak major primal core expert. It would not be strange at all. At this moment, amidst the rolling yellow sands, a black horse carriage was galloping on the main road, leaving behind a trail of dust. Inside the carriage was naturally Xiao Chen and the other two. Warships like pirate ships had special docking points in Purple Sun City. They had already parted ways with Xiao Chen's group. There are so many experts. Xiao Chen had already walked out and sat beside Xiao Sua, observing the surroundings. Earlier, the two mutated beasts that brushed past Xiao Chen were both minor primal core cultivators. In the other great realms, it was not easy to see a primal core cultivator. Becoming a perfected master was already an expert. After advancing to the primal core realm, one would be a venerate, respected wherever they went. However, the rules in Purple Sun City were clearly going to change. So. Just as the cycle war chariot was about to enter the city gates, two figures descended from the sky and blocked the chariot. Xiao Sua pulled the reins fiercely, his face filled with anger. Sizing up the two people in front of him, they were two middle-aged men. One of them had a thick killing intent on his face, while the other had an evil smile on his face. Clearly, he was up to no good. Big brother, the vicinity of Purple Sun City has always been very chaotic. There are often blind people looking for pushovers to collect tolls. Xiao Chen found this strange. These two people are only half-step primal core cultivators, yet they dare to target you? How would I know? There are always people who do not care about their lives in this day and age. The black-clad man, Xiao Sua, expressed his confusion. Xiao Chen sized up the black-clad man and somewhat understood. Xiao Sua was covered in dust along the way, and he withdrew his aura. It looked like he had completely integrated into the role of a coachman. The former pirate leader had turned into a coachman and was directly ignored by others. Furthermore, Xiao Chen's cycle war chariot did not have any insignia, even looking somewhat crude. Hence, he was treated as a pushover. In reality, that was indeed the case. The taller and skinnier of the two men blocking the chariot looked at Xiao Chen and said, "How many people are in the chariot?" "Everyone has to hand over 100 spirit jades. Otherwise, you can forget about entering Purple Sun City alive." Xiao Chen smiled and said, "This Purple Sun City is an ownerless city, a neutral land where people can come and go as they please. Since when do we need to pay spirit jades? Why all the nonsense? Are you going to hand it over or not? Just say the word." The person who spoke looked at Xiao Chen with displeasure on his face, showing no patience at all. Not handing it over, Xiao Chen replied decisively. "Are you sure?" The taller, skinnier man smiled coldly. Purple Sun City was a chaotic place with many experts. However, not all of them were experts. Every day, there would be veritable personages like Xiao Chen passing through the field and entering the Purple Sun Great Realm, the targets of their plunder. Those who could come to Purple Sun City were either here to buy treasures or to sell them. These people all had some wealth. If this was not good, they would just kill them and snatch them. You'd best consider it. 100 spirit jades for a life. This is an easy debt to settle, the azure-clad man surging with killing chi at the side said coldly. Consider it my ass. To think that you are trying to rob me, your grandfather. Kneel. During this period, Xiao Sua had been suppressing a bellyful of anger. Now that he was forced to be a coachman, he felt extremely upset. Now that someone blocked his way and tried to rob him, he completely erupted. Xiao Sua grasped the horsewhip and suddenly stood up. The aura of a primal core realm expert burst out. The two middle-aged men who tried to rob him were instantly frightened to death. They had not expected this unremarkable coachman, who was covered in dust, to be a minor primal core realm expert. Trying to run. It's too late. Xiao Sua smiled coldly and swung his whip. The two half-step primal core realm cultivators got chopped in half at the waist. They were not even on the same level. Xiao Sua leaped off the chariot and searched the corpses. Then, he removed the spatial rings of the two before walking back happily. It's an old habit. I can't change it. Big brother, sorry for the embarrassment. Let's go. After killing the two, Xiao Sua was in a good mood. He drove the cycle war chariot straight into Purple Sun City. Only then did the onlookers startle to their senses, exclaiming softly. What a mysterious chariot. There is no sect symbol on it, but the coachman is actually a primal core venerate. What is the background of that white-clad youth? This is really grand. Even a rank 2 sect disciple would not receive such treatment. That is right. Even in a rank 2 sect, a primal core realm expert is a martial uncle. How could he be a coachman for a disciple? That might not be the case. If it were the top disciple of a rank 2 sect, he would definitely receive such treatment. Could this white-clad person be the top disciple of a sect? However, he does not look like it. Although the black-clothed man had killed 2 people with 1 whip strike, everyone's focus was on Xiao Chen. Clearly, a coachman was already so strong. The identity of the white-clad person had to be even more incredible. Could that white-clad person be the Ice Snow Sword? A few figures below the city gates, 2 men and 1 woman, watched as the cycle war chariot entered the city gates. The one who spoke was the woman among them. The 3 of them had arrived long ago. However, they happened to see the earlier scene, so they stopped to watch the commotion. Who could have imagined that they would see such a shocking scene? That should not be the case. Although the Ice Snow Sword is also dressed in white, he has always been a loner. He is very proud and arrogant. He does not even think highly of his fellow sect members of the Ice Snow Mountain Manor. The Purple Cloud Pavilion's annual auction is about to begin. The elite disciples of the rank 2 sects near Purple Sun City will definitely come to join in the excitement. This person might be a descendant of one of the elders of one of the sections. Unable to figure out Xiao Chen's identity, the 3 paused for a while before following the crowd into Purple Sun City. Chapter 1584. Most of the sects in the Purple Sun region were rank 1 sects like the Tianyi sect. Only a few of the stronger sects had Cloud Sea cultivators. As for the weaker sects, they did not have Cloud Sea cultivators. Rank 2 sects needed at least 2 early-stage Cloud Sea cultivators. Otherwise, the reputation of the sect would be in danger of falling off at any time. There was a total of 3 rank 2 sects in the Purple Sun region. They were rooted in the vicinity of Purple Sun City. Of course, that was only in relative terms. They were still rather far away. The 3 rank 2 sects were like the overlords of the Purple Sun region. Only they were qualified to establish their headquarters in the Purple Sun Great Realm. If the other sects wanted to establish their headquarters in the Purple Sun Great Realm, they needed the strength of a rank 2 sect. Otherwise, their sect could be destroyed at any time. Setting up a sect around Purple Sun City would bring huge benefits. Xiao Qin could not just casually give them away. Of course, in the vicinity of the city, there were still a lot of small forces that didn't make much of a difference. Due to the large number of these factions, the strength of each faction was different. There were all sorts of people. The 3 rank 2 sects could not be bothered with them, nor did they have the energy to do so. This was because it would not affect their fundamental benefits. The Ice Snow Sword, Luo Feng, was the strongest new talent of the Ice Snow Mountain Manor, one of the 3 rank 2 sections. Although he was not the top true inheritor, he had become famous in the past few years, rising extremely quickly in the entire Purple Sun region. Luo Feng's sword had reached perfection. According to rumor, he had killed many early-stage minor primal core older generation cultivators while he was only a half-step primal core cultivator. Now that he had advanced to the minor primal core realm, he was only one step away. His strength was probably even more incredible. Furthermore, Luo Feng was vicious and ruthless. He was a loner and had a prideful nature. Furthermore, he comprehended a sword soul half a year ago. His reputation caught up to that of the Ice Snow Mountain Manor's top disciple. Luo Feng always wore white and gave off an extraordinary air. Hence, people misunderstood Xiao Chen as the Ice Snow Sword. Aside from the Ice Snow Sword, the other two rank 2 sects, the Burning Moon sect and the Wind Chasing sect, also had 2 new talents who were as famous as the Ice Snow Sword. However, these two were not as unique as Luo Feng. They did not obtain the Ice Snow Sword's codename like Luo Feng. From a certain point of view, being able to obtain this codename was an acknowledgement of Luo Feng's strength. The largest restaurant in Purple Sun City was Leisure Cloud Restaurant. Most of the cultivators who came to Purple Sun City would come here for a drink. Most importantly, this place had a lot of people. Not only could one obtain the latest and fastest news, but there were also many scattered martial artists setting up stalls on the 3rd floor. It could be considered a relatively famous market. Many people, after eating and drinking to their heart's content, would go up and take a stroll. At this moment, a white figure slowly walked in on the floor paved with top-notch nanmu. The noisy restaurant instantly quieted down. It was as if even the air had become much colder. So cold. What a sharp sword intent. Many people focused their gazes on the entrance of the restaurant. They saw a black-haired man dressed in white walking in unhurriedly with a sword in his hand. This person did not have much of an aura of nobility on him, he was just ordinary. His temperament seemed to be somewhat similar to that of Xiao Chen. The only difference was that this person did not withdraw his sword intent. The ancient sword that this person held in his left hand also gave off the feeling that it would be unsheathed at any moment. After such a person entered, the hall and the 2nd floor of the restaurant fell silent. There was no reason for this other than the frightening sword intent that this person gave off. When this person looked at him, he gave off the feeling of a cold and aloof sword stuck in the vast white snow. The white-clad youth casually swept his gaze around the restaurant. Immediately, everyone that he looked at felt like a sword's edge flashed before their eyes. The people that he looked at quickly lowered their heads, avoiding this sharp gaze. Suddenly, the white-robed young man stopped in his tracks. His gaze landed on another young man who was also dressed in white. This person did not avoid the white-clad youth's gaze. After taking a glance, he casually picked up a wine cup and started drinking. Bladesman? Swordsman? The white-clad swordsman could only vaguely feel the sharpness of the other party. However, he could not confirm the other party's identity. After a while, the white-clad swordsman's lips curled up in a mocking smile. What a coward! To think that he does not even have the courage to compete with me. Shaking his head, the white-clad swordsman found a place to sit. The oppressive atmosphere of the restaurant calmed down. Xiao Sua, do you know this person? Naturally, the one that the white-clad swordsman noticed was Xiao Chen. After the group passed the city gates, they headed straight for Idle Cloud Restaurant. They had not eaten a good meal in a long time. Naturally, they had to eat and drink their fill, enjoy themselves, and rest. Xiao Sua put down his wine cup and said, he should be the Ice Snow Sword, Luo Feng. He is a disciple of the Ice Snow Mountain Manor, a rank 2 sect. I heard that he is very strong. Of course, he is nothing compared to Big Brother. Xiao Sua Feng habitually praised Xiao Chen at the end of his sentence. Xiao Chen could not be bothered with him. This Ice Snow Sword was indeed very strong. In the Great Thousand Realms, there were no cultivation bottlenecks like in the Kunlun realm. Everyone focused on raising their cultivation. Those who could comprehend a sword's soul and a domain could be considered very talented. This person's sword intent already condensed a soul. Furthermore, it reached a 60% comprehended sword soul, which was pretty good. However, it was just a so-so. Compared to a swordsman like Chu Chaoyun, who comprehended the sword Dao's great Dao energy, Xiao Sua Feng could not compare. Of course, with Chu Chaoyun's current cultivation, he definitely could not compare to the other party. If not for Xiao Chen's fortuitous encounter, refining the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy, it would be hard to say who would win if the two fought. However, as time went by, Xiao Chen believed that Chu Chaoyun would continuously grow. In this great thousand realms, the other party would be like a fish in water, improving at a startling rate. Interesting. You are just a carriage driver, and you actually dare to evaluate our Ice Snow Mountain Manor's Ice Snow Sword. Are you tired of living? Just at this moment, a voice came from a neighboring table. That voice looked mockingly at the travel-worn, crudely dressed Xiao Suo. There were 2 men and 2 women at that table. The one who spoke was an alluring woman. As she looked at Xiao Chen and Xiao Suo, she smiled coldly and said, "Do you think that you can compare to the Ice Snow Sword just by wearing white clothes? Where did this country bumpkin come from? How ignorant." Although our second senior brother is not the top disciple of the sect, when considering the entire Purple Sun region, his talent in the sword Dao is definitely among the best. His talent in swordsmanship can definitely be considered one of the best. Who do you think you are? It's fine if you're ugly, but are your eyes growing on your butt? As Xiao Chen held up his wine cup, he did his best not to laugh. This Xiao Suo was really unlucky. When Xiao Suo entered the city, he was robbed. When he entered a restaurant to eat, he casually said something and got scolded by a young lady. This alluring woman clearly worshipped the Ice Snow Sword in the Ice Snow Mountain Manor and could not tolerate any dust on it. Ignore her. Xiao Chen put down his wine cup and said indifferently. Xiao Suo had no choice but to sit back down and drink his wine. However, Xiao Suo could not suppress the rage in his heart. He crushed the wine cup in his hand. He was an astral sea pirate with a fiery temper. Even Xiao Chen did not submit to him. If the Jiao snake had intimidated him, he would not have listened to Xiao Chen at all. Normally, Xiao Suo would have drawn his saber and chopped someone down. As Xiao Suo raged, the strong aura of a primal core cultivator spread out, startling the 4 people at the neighboring table. Whoosh! Suddenly, a flash of sword light flashed like an aurora, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Xiao Suo stretched out his hand and caught this flash of sword light. The sword light contained a cup of wine. The people in the restaurant immediately exclaimed. It was the Ice Snow Sword. He made a move. What a fast sword light! It truly lived up to being the Ice Snow Sword. Most of the people in the restaurant did not see how the Ice Snow Sword made his move. This venerate, this is my junior sister. I spoke rudely, so I'll treat you to a cup of wine as an apology. I'll punish myself with a cup first. After draining the wine, the Ice Snow Sword stood up and looked at Xiao Suo. Then, he said, however, I, the Ice Snow Sword, am not someone that just anyone can talk about. Although you are a minor primal core venerate, you are not qualified. How arrogant! Exclamations came from the restaurant. Unexpectedly, this Ice Snow Sword really dared to challenge a minor primal core venerate. It looked like the rumor of the Ice Snow Sword killing a minor primal core venerate was true. After I drink this cup of wine, I'll take it as nothing happened, the Ice Snow Sword said, enunciating every word as he looked at Xiao Suo. The 4 people seated next to him, who were initially frightened, immediately regained their courage. This was especially so for that alluring woman. As she looked at the Ice Snow Sword, her eyes sparkled. The Ice Snow Mountain Manor, the Ice Snow Sword. Xiao Chen muttered this name in his heart. Then, he completely forgot about it. He had seen many of such people. They were arrogant, and thought highly of themselves. They were extremely arrogant. However, the entire Purple Sun region was just an average-sized astral region in the Grave Sea Cluster. The Grave Sea Cluster could not be considered the core of the entire Great Thousand Realms. Where did this arrogance come from, to be so arrogant? Although Xiao Chen was not as old as Xiao Suo, his mental state was much higher than that of this group of people. In Xiao Chen's eyes, this Ice Snow Sword was just a dancing clown. He did not even need to remember his name. Xiao Chen's expression remained calm, not changing at all. Then, he said indifferently, "Drink, then." Xiao Suo revealed an expression of dissatisfaction. However, since Xiao Chen said so, he still drank all the wine in his cup. Chapter 1585. Xiao Chen knew that right now, his main goal was to save Luo Nan. "Don't let me catch a chance. Let's see if you can still smile when the time comes." The blade was extremely sharp. In Xiao Chen's opinion, it was a pretty good sword. Xiao Chen's heart trembled. Unexpectedly, the other party could tell that this was the Heavenly Yang Pill's alchemic recipe. Most of the profound tools sold in this market were inferior grade or medial grade. Superior grade profound tools were rare. As for peak treasure tools like the Blue Dragon Divine Wings, there were practically none. "It's fine. Just stroll around. Just let me know if there is anything you like." The stall owner seemed to fear that Xiao Chen would go back on his word. He quickly took the spirit jades from Xiao Chen and carefully put them away. Then, he quickly delivered the sword to Fei Er. In the Kunlun realm, the lunar shadow saber was a transcendent divine weapon. In this world, it was also a peak superior grade profound tool, not yet a treasure tool. "Alright, let me take a look." The sword in Fei Er's hand was only an inferior grade profound tool. She had wanted to change it long ago. However, treasure tools were already extremely rare and expensive. Even a major primal core venerate might not be able to purchase a treasure tool to their liking. Luo Nan did not want Xiao Chen to spend money, so he only took a quick look and did not express his opinion. On the other hand, Fei Er was in high spirits. She wanted to buy a sword, a medial grade profound tool. "I'll help you, then." The ice snow sword Lu Mu smiled coldly and ignored Xiao Chen's group. "So what if he is a minor primal core venerate? Before senior brother Luo Feng, he still has to be obedient." After being stunned for a while, Lu Mu said, "This young master is really generous." As Xiao Chen received the invitation, a melancholic voice rang out in his ears. Xiao Chen had not noticed it earlier. Now that he carefully sized up this old man, he discovered that this old man looked ordinary on the surface. However, his eyes were spirited, and a clump of flames blazed in the depths of his eyes. The onlookers in the restaurant were all shocked. To think that the ice snow sword Luo Feng's aura could suppress a minor primal core cultivator. The aged old man, the handsome and elegant young master, the charming and alluring young woman, the pure and cute young girl, and the sloppy old man. At least you are sensible. In the future, remember not to casually mention my name, Luo Feng, in Purple Sun City. Otherwise, even if you're a small origin core realm expert, I'll still teach you a lesson. The Jiao snake hidden in the immortal spirit ring nodded to itself. Such a mental state is truly rare. Above profound level weapons, there were treasured weapons. At this moment, Xiao Chen was in a great mood. He had suddenly turned from a poor man to a rich man. How could he not be happy? The enchanting young lady glanced at Xiao Suo with a pleased expression as she spoke in an incomparably ear-piercing voice. Xiao Chen said indifferently, "It looks like you only have this much confidence. If we really fight, you are definitely not a match for me." There was no need to even mention medial grade spirit jades. Most of the time, people would carry a few on them at all times, using them for emergencies. The stall was set up very casually. At this moment, she was standing in front of a stall, playing with a blood-red longsword. This was a fire-attributed longsword, a medial grade profound tool. Not only did it look exquisite, but one medial grade spirit jade could be exchanged for 100 inferior grade spirit jades. However, no one would trade for such a thing. The old man at the stall received the list with a smile. Then, he casually read, "Fish yang grass, white flame flower, fire cloud fruit. Dragon transformation night. These are all extremely strong yang attributed herbs. This fellow." Seeing Xiao Chen so calm made the ice snow sword feel very upset for some reason. It was like the other party did not care about him at all. The might of a treasure tool was extremely horrifying. Even major primal core cultivators could not completely control it. As Xiaochen spoke calmly, Xiao Sua had no choice but to swallow his anger, drinking cup after cup to drown his sorrows. Luo Nan and Fei Er showed shocked expressions. Unexpectedly, Xiaochen easily took out 200 medial-grade spirit jades. This somewhat startled Xiaochen. The value of spirit jades seemed somewhat low. After Fei Er explained, she asked, "Big brother Xiaochen, did you get it wrong?" Fei Er quickly said, "Senior brother, I will take care of you for life." Luo Nan forced a smile and said, "I'm fine. I'm just a little weak and do not have much strength. I'm afraid that even if I treat you, you will only be a cripple in the future. Cut the crap. Eat and drink." After haggling for a while, Fei Er bought the sword for 20,000 spirit jades. Xiaochen smiled and said, "Did you hear that? With such a junior sister, why are you sighing? Be happier. Come, let's go to the 3rd floor. I remember that you use swords, right? I'll get you a good sword. When you recover, you can use it." "Big brother, I have never felt so vexed before. This fellow is too cocky. No matter how powerful he is, if I really fight him, I will have a 50-50 chance of winning." When one drained their veritable essence energy during a big battle, they could quickly recover most of their veritable essence energy by absorbing a medial-grade spirit jade. Xiaochen smiled faintly and casually dealt with this sharpness. Then, he casually turned his head and drained the wine in his cup. At the stall, Xiaochen saw many cultivators selling profound tools, all sorts of weapons. Xiaochen took out his spirit jades and handed them to the other party. How can I accept this?" After 3 rounds of wine, Xiaochen paid the bill. Then, he looked at Luo Nan and asked, "How is your body?" The stall owner was a white-haired old man. When he saw the spirit jades that Xiaochen handed over, his eyes immediately lit up with a fervent light. Medial-grade spirit jades. Given this, although Xiaochen's blue dragon divine wings were replicas, they were indeed rather precious. When the 4 people at the neighboring table saw Xiao Sua drink that cup of wine under the pressure of the ice snow sword, Luo Feng, they immediately rejoiced. Back in the Blue Dragon Palace, Xiaochen already knew that the secret treasures of the Great Thousand Realms were known as profound tools. The group went straight to the 3rd floor. As for superior-grade spirit jades, they were priceless treasures in the first place. They could only be exchanged for with treasures of equal value. This was not a matter of bravado. Xiaochen waved his hand and said, "There's no need. How can I take back something that I gave away? Senior, there is no need to mind it." When Xiaochen raised his head and looked at the ice snow sword, he happened to meet the other party's gaze. The other party's gaze was as sharp as a knife, radiating boundless pressure. A light flashed in Xiaochen's eyes. When he looked at the old man again, his expression changed slightly. "Old sir, please take a look at this list. Is there any way to help me obtain the herbs in it?" This old man was either an extremely skilled refiner or a strong alchemist. Xiao Sua said in a low voice, feeling aggrieved. Of course, Xiaochen could still sense it from his lunar shadow saber. "Did I get it wrong? More than 200. Young man, this old man is sorry for taking advantage of you. Here is a VIP invitation from the Purple Cloud Pavilion. If you go to the Purple Cloud Pavilion tonight, not only can you use this VIP invitation to enter the VIP rooms, but you can also get a 10% discount on the auction items." The ice snow sword said coldly in his heart. "Oh no, I still lack some spirit jades." Fei Er counted in her spatial ring and discovered that she was still short a few hundred spirit jades. As the old man continued looking, his expression changed drastically. He looked at Xiaochen gravely and asked, "Are you still short 100 strands of 1,000-year-old baleful yang qi?" 50-50. With 2 million spirit jades, wouldn't that mean that he could only buy 200 medial-grade profound weapons and only a few dozen superior-grade profound weapons? In that case, he would really be a poor man. However, he had already gained the upper hand in the earlier scene. There was no reason or opportunity for him to get angry. The third floor of Idle Cloud Restaurant was very noisy with people coming and going. There were all sorts of people on the third floor. Ordinary spirit jades were already extremely difficult to produce, be it for cultivation, setting up formations, refining medicinal pills or refining profound weapons. Spirit jades were extremely valuable and could be used to lay formations, refine medicinal pills, or refine treasures. The matter of the ice snow sword did not affect Xiao Chen's mood at all, nor did it destroy his mental state. The stall owner was a white-haired old man. When he heard Xiao Chen's question, he asked, "Young man, you really got it wrong. In that case, can this old man use something else to exchange for your medial-grade spirit jades?" "Big brother, this old man is not simple. The Purple Cloud Pavilion's auction tonight is an annual large-scale auction. The entire city will be watching, and it will be hard to get a ticket. What more a VIP invitation? Even someone like the Ice Snow Sword might not be able to get one. How much do you lack?" No wonder the Blue Dragon Palace's old dragon horse said that although there were not many spirit jades, their quality was rather high. With a thought, Xiao Chen took out a list of ingredients. There were many different herbs recorded on it. These were all supplementary herbs for refining the Heavenly Yang pill. They were extremely rare and hard to find. Chapter 1586. Xiao Chen composed himself. His expression did not change as he said in a deep voice, "Senior, a sage really does not reveal his true appearance. I have long heard that there are many experts in Purple Sun City. Indeed, the rumors are true." The stall owner looked a little excited and said with a smile, "An expert? Not really. May I ask if young master has the pill recipe for the Sky Yang pill?" Xiao Chen nodded. "That's right. I have the pill recipe. What advice does senior have?" "All right, as long as you lend me the pill recipe. I will help you obtain all the supplementary herbs on the list. Furthermore, I will help you find a way to purchase the 1,000-year-old baleful yang energy. I will also give you spirit jades." The white-haired old man appeared to be exceptionally excited as he anxiously said. It was clearly wrong to be in such a hurry during a negotiation. If he exposed his bottom line too early, he would be ruthlessly slaughtered by those who were black-hearted. Looking at the white-haired old man's appearance, he did not seem to be an impatient person. It could only be said that he really wanted the Sky Yang pill's alchemic formula. Xiao Chen did not overthink. He did not let the other party's conditions get to his head. He said calmly, "I do not lack spirit jades. I can let this old man take a look at the alchemic recipe. I only ask senior to help me. If I can do it, I'm willing to give the pill formula to senior, and I'll also promise senior one condition." "What is it? Tell me." Xiao Chen pointed to Luo Nan and said, "Senior, please take the pulse of this friend of mine." Alchemists were not doctors. However, most alchemists would know some medical skills. The white-haired old man took a step forward and examined it. Then, he frowned. What a vicious method. This injury should have been fatal and irreversible. However, it was forcibly suppressed by a saint pill. It should be a top-grade saint pill, the blood cloud pill. However, this medicine can only last for 7 days at most. After 7 days, your friend will. When Fei heard this, her expression immediately changed. She said hurriedly, "Senior, please save my senior brother." On the other hand, Luo Nan's expression did not change. His experiences during this period had made him very open-minded about life and death. However, his heart still ached when he saw Fei sad. Xiao Chen stretched out his hand and stopped Fei. "Let senior finish." The white-haired old man continued, "If there is a medicinal pill that can reconstruct the Dantian, the blood cloud pill's effects will be completely unleashed, and there will be no danger to your life." After letting go of Luo Nan's hand, the white-haired old man looked at Xiao Chen and said, "I know what you want me to help you with. I remember that my friend has a medicinal pill recipe for reconstructing the Dantian. 3 days later, we'll meet here and I'll give you what you need." The moment Xiao Chen said that, everyone revealed expressions of joy. This trip to Purple Sun City was worth it. Alright, it's a deal then. 3 days later, I will hand over the pill formula for the Sky Sun pill as promised. The white-haired old man narrowed his eyes as he looked at Xiao Chen. Then, he said sincerely, "It has been a long time since I saw a young man as generous as you. You do not care about trifles and do not covet small benefits. What's hard is to be loyal to your friends." This old man's family name is Lu. Those who know me in the Purple Sun region will address me as Senior Lu, a dabbler in alchemy. May I know your name? If there's a chance in the future, we can chat more. By introducing himself, Senior Lu was trying to befriend Xiao Chen. There was no fear of having too many friends when one was outside. Xiao Chen said, "I am Xiao Chen. My family name is Xiao, and my family name is Chen. If there is a chance, I will definitely chat with Senior Lu." Ha ha ha. There will definitely be a chance. Don't waste the VIP letter I gave you. The Purple Cloud Pavilion's annual auction is considered a grand occasion. Senior Lu was in a good mood. After laughing loudly, he packed up his stall and left. After dealing with Luo Nan's matter, Xiao Chen was in a good mood. He looked at the VIP letter in his hand. He raised his head and said, "Xiao Sua, you know where this Purple Cloud Pavilion is, right?" "Of course, I know. After all, I have been here 3 times. Lead the way, then. You did pretty well today. At that time, you can choose whatever you like. I'll bid for it for you." Without Xiao Sua's reminder, Xiao Chen would not have discovered this hidden expert. Helping him bid for a treasure was worth it. Ha! Big brother, you are my biological elder brother. That's it, then. Don't ever go back on your word. Xiao Sua nearly jumped up in joy, feeling incredibly excited. The Purple Cloud Pavilion's annual auction would last for 2 days. Only 20 treasures would be auctioned each day. Every item would be carefully selected and extremely valuable. Most of the people who went could only be spectators. As the guests were too wealthy, every auction item would eventually fetch a sky-high price. After Xiao Chen understood this, he did not regret it. Instead, he became even more interested. Xiao Chen had 2 million spirit jades on him, so he was not worried at all. If converted to inferior grade spirit jades, that would be more than 200 million spirit jades. The old dragon horse did not say much humbly. However, Xiao Chen now discovered that, at least in the Purple Sun region, he was definitely rich and overbearing. The Purple Cloud Pavilion was one of the 3 great trading grounds of Purple Sun City. It occupied several kilometers of land, looking very grand and imposing. Purple Sun City's accumulations were extremely deep. Long ago, it was the stronghold of the Golden Crow race. In terms of accumulations, this city was even deeper than any sect in the Purple Sun region. Occasionally, strange treasures would appear. No one found this strange. Most of the people who obtained a strange treasure would choose the trading pavilion to entrust it anonymously to the trading ground. Large-scale trading grounds had good reputations and were safe and reliable. They were many people's first choice. The Purple Cloud Pavilion was such a large-scale trading ground. Naturally, its annual large-scale auction was a grand event. That was why the Ice Snow Sword, Luo Feng, was here. Soon, Xiao Sua led the way to the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Suddenly, a scorching berserk aura came from behind. The cultivators in front scattered in all directions, immediately turning the place chaotic. What a tyrannical aura! It's the Burning Moon sect's strongest new talent, Yan Xian. Many startled cries came from the crowd. Many people looked behind them. They saw a group of figures walking over from there. The person leading them exuded a berserk aura from head to toe, scorching, cold, and arrogant. This was the strongest new talent of the Burning Moon sect, one of the Purple Sun Great Realm's 3 rank 2 sects, Yan Xian. Xiao Chen looked in the direction the crowd pointed. When he saw Yan Xian, he was slightly stunned. This person and the Ice Snow Sword were practically polar opposites. However, They had one thing in common: they were both extremely proud, arrogant, and conceited. Thinking about it, this had something to do with the rank 2 sects being the overlords of the Purple Sun region. These rank 2 sects were strong in the first place. Furthermore, their sects were strong. Who would dare to offend them? As Yan Xen walked over, the people at the side made way. Soon, he arrived at Xiao Chen's group. Everyone narrowed their eyes. Were these people stupid? To think that they did not make way for Yan Xen. Yan Xen frowned, and a berserk fiery aura flew towards Xiao Chen's group of 4. The air immediately turned unbearably hot. Without needing Xiao Chen to make a move, Xiao Suo spread out his aura and scattered the fiery aura. Venerate? Yan Xen entered deep thought. Then, he said coldly, just because you are a venerate, you think you can block my path? After dealing with Luo Nan's matter, Xiao Chen no longer had any qualms. However, he did not want to cause trouble either. Xiao Chen patted Xiao Suo's shoulder and walked to the side, taking the initiative to make way. Humph! Snorting coldly, Yan Xen led his junior brothers over with large strides. The people following behind Yan Xen all showed cocky expressions. In this Purple Sun city, they, the Burning Moon sect disciples, had never feared anyone. Little girl, you look pretty good. As a disciple was about to walk past Fei he stretched out his hand to touch her face. This startled Fei causing her expression to change drastically. Luo Nan also felt incredibly frustrated. Ah! However, before the two could do anything, they heard a miserable shriek. Xiao Chen directly tore off the arm of the person who stretched out his hand. Then, Xiao Chen casually tossed the arm into the air. Bang! It exploded into a shower of blood. With this, there was no hope of reconnecting the arm. How dare you injure my junior brother? Yan Xen turned around, enraged. Xiao Chen said indifferently, I have seen too many deaths in the past few years, so my temper has improved. However, there are some reverse scales. Once you touch them, don't blame me for being ruthless. Senior brother, you have to seek justice for me. For no reason or cause, you tore off one of my arms. That person with the severed arm showed a pained expression. To think that the guilty party was the first to complain. For no reason or cause. Xiao Chen smiled coldly and said, are the people of the Burning Moon sect all so shameless? You! To think that you dare to say that I am shameless. If not for you sneak attacking me, given my strength, how could I have torn off an arm? You are clearly narrow-minded and unwilling to give way to senior brother Yan Xen, so you vented your anger on me. Are you very strong? Suddenly, Xiao Chen interrupted the other party's long speech. When the other party looked at Xiao Chen's questioning gaze, he suddenly felt fear spread through his entire body. A sharp saber intent spread out. Xiao Chen stretched out his hand, and a strong saber intent entered the other party's body. The other party trembled as he looked at Xiao Chen in horror. Blood leaked out of a corner of his mouth. Before the other party finished speaking, he released many saber lights from his entire body. Countless bloody holes appeared in the other party's body, and blood flowed out. Then, he collapsed. The other party fell to the ground, dying with a remaining grievance. Had he known this would happen, he would not have said that Xiao Chen was not as strong as him. The gazes of everyone in the crowd froze as they looked at Xiao Chen. How bold of him to kill a Burning Moon sect disciple in front of Yan Xen. How strong! To think that he killed a Burning Moon sect disciple in front of Yan Xen. To think that Yan Xen did not even have a chance to save the other party. If I want to hurt someone, I will never do it in secret. If I want to kill someone, I will never do it. Xiao Chen said indifferently. He did not like to waste words. Most of the time, he liked to use action to express his opinion. Chapter 1587. Xiao Chen, who did not like to speak nonsense, used his actions to prove that the other party was just trash and trash. Judging whether a person was trash or trash had nothing to do with their strength, nor did it have anything to do with their background. Instead, it was a person's character and actions, as well as their sense of shame. Not only did the person who molested Fei show no intention of apologizing, but he even tried to frame Xiao Chen. Everyone had a reverse scale. However, after touching it, one had to pay a different price. The price for touching Xiao Chen's reverse scale was death. No matter what rank 2 sect disciple you were, it would not matter if you were Yan Xian's disciple or not. Senior brother, kill him. Before the crowd, the Burning Moon sect disciples felt like they were slapped in the face. So, they egged on Yan Xian to help them regain face. Xiao Suo snorted coldly and stood beside Xiao Chen. Then, he looked at Yan Xian without fear. Yan Xian's raging heart slowly calmed down. He did not fear the minor primal core cultivator, Xiao Suo. What he could not figure out was that white-clad bladesman, who had easily killed his junior brother without even drawing his saber. If Xiao Suo delayed Yan Xian and he could not deal with Xiao Chen, their faces might be slapped even more miserably. The most important thing was that they were not in the right in this matter. They would not be able to find the Burning Moon sect to judge. They might even end up being treated as a joke, spreading it even more. Might I ask for your honored name? Yan Xian asked as he looked at Xiao Chen, feeling somewhat uncertain. Xiao Chen. The crowd burst into an uproar. Who was Xiao Chen? They had never heard of this name before. In the Purple Sun region, most of the famous outstanding talents were well known. News spread very quickly in the Great Thousand Realms. Yan Xian said coldly, "Good, very good. Today, you slapped my face. In the future, I will definitely ruthlessly slap you back." Xiao Chen smiled and said, "Face is something you fight for yourself, not someone else's. Be a good person, and naturally, a beauty will slap your face." Humph. Stop lecturing me. Don't get cocky. As long as you don't leave Purple Sun City, take it easy. This is not a place where you can behave atrociously. This Yan Xian hated Xiao Chen in his heart. However, when he analyzed the strength before him, he could not completely suppress Xiao Chen. He had no choice but to swallow his anger, feeling extremely sullen in his heart. Let's go. He turned around and led his many confused junior brothers away, causing a wave of exclamations in the crowd. No one had expected this. The proud and willful new talents of the three great sects actually cowered. This was Yan Xian, one of the three great new talents of the Purple Sun region, on par with the Ice Snow Sword. Xiao Chen. I've never heard of this name before. However, since I've offended Yan Xian, it's better for me to leave as soon as possible. After all, the Purple Cloud Pavilion's auction is about to begin. It would not be good for Yan Xian to make a move. However, Xiao Chen did not overthink. He led Xiao Suo and the other two into the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Inside a VIP room, Xiao Chen sat on a soft chair. The other three sat behind him, clearly showing who was more important. Through the glowing water screen in front, the four in the VIP room could see everything outside, including the situation of the auction. Just at this moment, a voluptuous purple-haired girl suddenly walked out from the front of the auction hall. She wore a long, red dress that dragged on the ground. The long dress was very sexy, revealing her fair breasts and stirring up wild and fanciful thoughts. Suddenly, Xiao Chen's eyes widened. He stared at the purple-clad girl and entered deep thought. Fei blushed slightly, feeling somewhat embarrassed. However, the pirate leader, Xiao Suo, laughed loudly and said, "Big brother, although Miss Lan Luo is a famous beauty in Purple Sun City, you should be more reserved." This startled Xiao Chen awake. However, his expression did not change, so he withdrew his gaze. Xiao Chen thought to himself. He vaguely sensed that this girl called Lan Luo was an outstanding talent with a great desolate Ian bloodline. However, why would an outstanding talent with a great desolate Ian bloodline appear in such a small place like the Purple Sun region? This was somewhat incomprehensible. At the same time, many of the honored guests in the various VIP rooms looked at Lan Luo with incomparable greed. The flames of lust blazed in their eyes. Senior brother, this Lan Luo is truly a beauty. She is worthy of your status. Yan Xian's junior brothers in another VIP room said fawningly. Given senior brother's talent and status, as long as senior brother is willing, that Lan Luo will definitely deliver herself to you obediently. Of course. Who does not know that senior brother has excellent talent and can fight above his cultivation realm? Lan Luo snorted coldly. So what if this girl who shows herself in public is a beauty? How can she be worthy of me? However, she is pretty good to play with. Lan Luo's lips curled up in a sinister smile. In the VIP room where the ice snow sword Luo Feng was, he stared at Lan Luo's twin peaks, unwilling to shift his gaze away. For Lan Luo to be able to attract the attention of so many experts and outstanding talents at the same time, she was clearly not as simple as Yan Xian made her out to be. Otherwise, Lan Luo would have been subdued long ago. How could she be so attractive? Welcome, honored guests, to tonight's Purple Cloud Pavilion's annual large-scale auction. Lan Luo smiled charmingly and bowed slightly, revealing a deep cleavage. This immediately ignited the desires of all the male cultivators present. As for the women, they were probably already cursing in their hearts. This woman is really an enchantress. The pirate leader, Xiao Sua, said with a somewhat dazed look as he swallowed his saliva. Xiao Qin nodded in agreement. He said softly, she did not use any charm techniques. As the saying goes, it is hard to give up on a natural beauty. This is the principle behind it. Hee hee. Big brother, you are really talented in literature. I feel that with Big brother's charm, you might be able to subdue this girl. At that time, she really won't be able to leave this Purple Sun City. Xiao Qin smiled faintly, interrupting Xiao Sua. Xiao Sua was stunned for a while before saying, that seems to be the case. All the men here will probably go crazy. Fei Er said softly, you men are all like this. Who does not like beautiful things? This applies to both men and women. However, this is just an instinctive desire, not love. Suddenly, Xiao Qin felt somewhat dispirited. He closed his eyes and lay back on the soft chair. Lu Ryue's figure appeared in his mind. Unexpectedly, the parting in the Sky Dome realm nearly turned into an eternal parting. Now, he did not know where she was. Ancestor Dragon City was just the old dragon horse's guess. If she was not there, then he would be at a loss. Fei Er and Xiao Sua did not notice Xiao Chen's strange behavior. They only thought that he was tired and lay down to rest. This was because the auction officially started at this moment. Xiao Sua paid full attention to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen had agreed to help him bid for an item. This was an extremely rare opportunity. Every item in this annual large-scale auction would be a fine product, worth cities. Perhaps there might even be a strange treasure. That would be a great profit. When the auction started, it proceeded as planned. Indeed, every item was a fine product. Xiao Sua felt a significant pressure in his heart. Every item was a treasure, something that he urgently needed. However, Xiao Sua held back and did not say anything. The further it went, the more valuable the items would be. Next is the 8th auction item, the Dazzling Sunlight True Flame, a Yang Attributed Flame. This is an Earth-grade Yang Attributed Flame. Of all the Earth-grade Yang Attributed Flames, the Dazzling Sunlight True Flame is ranked very high. It is a treasure that Yang Attributed cultivators, alchemists, and refiners cannot miss out on. Lan Luo smiled and introduced the various uses of the Dazzling Sunlight True Flame in detail, as well as its value. Xiao Chen, who had his eyes closed, suddenly opened them. Dazzling Sunlight True Flame. The Book of the Epochs recorded that the special flames of the Great Thousand Realms were divided into 6 grades: Primal Chaos Grade, Lunar Grade, Solar Grade, Heaven Grade, Earth Grade, Profound Grade, and Yellow Grade. This Dazzling Sunlight True Flame definitely could not compare to Xiao Chen's Primal Chaos Grade Heavenly Flame. However, if Xiao Chen refined the Primal Chaos Grade Heavenly Flame, his Heavenly Flame would definitely not be comparable to the Rank 3 Heavenly Snow Divine Flame. he would not be able to bring out the Taiji Yin-Yang flame diagram. To raise the grade of the heavenly flame, one needed to plan early. Just thinking about the Taiji Yin-Yang flame diagram formed by the heavenly snow divine flame and the heavenly flame already excited Xiaoqin somewhat. Once he succeeded, it would definitely become another killing move for Xiaoqin. Xiaoqin was prepared to obtain this dazzling sunlight true flame. Chapter 1588. However, Xiaoqin was not the only one interested in this dazzling sunlight true flame. At least 10 people in the vast auction hall were determined to obtain it. Among them, the most determined was naturally the Burning Moon sect's Yan Xian. Yan Xian was a fire-attributed cultivator and cultivated a fire-attributed cultivation technique. He also comprehended the will of fire. Senior brother, after you refine this dazzling sunlight true flame, you will be able to break through the bottleneck of the primal core realm. A Burning Moon sect disciple exclaimed joyfully. Yan Xian said coldly, I have deep accumulations and need to condense an upper 3-star primal core at the very least. How can I break through the bottleneck so easily? However, I must obtain this dazzling sunlight true flame. After I refine it, my accumulations will only become even more horrifying. Aside from Yan Xian, several alchemists and refiners were also tempted. Alchemists and refiners did not lack spirit jades. They were wealthy, so their bids would definitely be extremely vicious. This round of bidding had yet to begin, but everyone present could already smell the thick smell of fire. A huge battle had begun, and smoke was already rising. The starting bid for the dazzling sunlight true flame is 100,000 spirit jades. Hee. Fellow alchemists, don't miss out on this. Lan Luo's sweet, alluring voice was drawn out as she spoke in a provocative manner. I bid 200,000. I bid 300,000. I bid 400,000. I bid 500,000. I bid 600,000. I bid 1 million. Whoosh! The entire place was shocked. Lan Luo's voice seemed to have a magical power. The few alchemists and some armament masters in the VIP room didn't even wait for her words to end completely before they raised the price to 1 million like a machine gun. The entire auction hall fell silent. Everyone was stunned by the price. Damn it! Lan Luo, you little bitch. How dare you spoil my plans? Yan Xian's anger was immediately ignited. He slammed the table fiercely, scaring everyone in the room. Seeing that the price was still rising uncontrollably, Yan Xian immediately said, Everyone, Yan Xian, want this dazzling sunlight true flame. Please give me some face. In the future, if any alchemists need any help, you can come to the Burning Moon sect to look for me. Just as the price soared to 2 million spiritual jades, Yan Xian could no longer hold back. He brought out his sect and forcefully suppressed the price. The skyrocketing price suddenly came to an abrupt stop. Those rich alchemists and blacksmiths were startled upon hearing this and stopped bidding. On the platform, Lan Luo's expression turned somewhat unsightly. She smiled and said, Young Master Yan, this is not good, right? Did I do anything against the rules? Could it be that the Purple Cloud Pavilion is so tyrannical, not allowing us Burning Moon sect disciples to speak? In the VIP room, Yan Xian kept a straight face, not giving any face at all. Xiaoqin thought to himself, this person is really tyrannical. When it hurts my own interests, he immediately brings up the Burning Moon sect. Apart from their standpoint, Xiaoqin quite approved of his behavior. If one didn't look out for oneself, heaven and earth would destroy them. If one didn't use their trump card when they could, wouldn't it be too inflexible and appear hypocritical? However, Xiaoqin didn't think much of this person's judgment. He was too arrogant and had too much of a bandit's temperament. That Lan Luo was not as simple as she appeared. Treating her as a pushover would be the stupidest. Naturally, our Purple Cloud Pavilion will not forbid the Burning Moon sect disciples from speaking. Others will not, either. However, using the Burning Moon sect to suppress others is breaking our rules. Lan Luo calmed herself, but the smile on her face did not vanish. Clearly, she was still somewhat shrewd and magnanimous. "Shut up. You slut. How dare you slander me again? Don't blame me for falling out with you on the spot. What evidence do you have to prove that I used the sect to suppress others? Who was threatened by me? As long as someone dares to step forward, I, Yen Xian, will atone for my crime with my death." Who knew? Right after Lan Luo spoke, Yen Xian immediately turned the tables on her, grasping her sore spot and making a big deal out of it. The entire place fell silent, no one said anything. Lan Luo immediately panicked somewhat, her entire body trembling slightly. "Humph. If the Purple Cloud Pavilion is filled with people like you, slandering others, I feel that there is no need for it to continue operating. I have yet to say that you slut colluded with a group of old men to purposely raise the price. Now, you are slandering me." Yen Xian's words struck home. This was especially so for the last sentence, which caused the entire place to boo. "You." Lan Luo was so angry that her entire body trembled. Her ample bosom trembled. When the crowd connected Yen Xian's words, many unbearable scenes immediately appeared in their minds. "I, the iceberg sword, Luo Feng, support Brother Yen. The Purple Cloud Pavilion needs to give an explanation. Otherwise, there is really no need for it to continue operating." Just at this crucial moment, the iceberg sword, Luo Feng, suddenly spoke up. Clearly, the iceberg sword wanted to use this opportunity to make his presence known, to make the following auction more favorable to him. The iceberg sword represented the Ice Snow Mountain Manor supporting Yen Xian. For a moment, the situation was in Yen Xian's favor. However, it was strange. The wind-chasing sect's new talent, Wang Ling, was in the future. Otherwise, he would have voiced his support as well. "We support young Master Yen. The Purple Cloud Pavilion needs to apologize." "Right. Apologize. Apologize." Excited voices rang out in the vast Purple Cloud Pavilion, sounding like the roar of a tsunami, ear-splitting. Xiao Qian observed very carefully. At this moment, Lan Luo's great desolate Ian bloodline became increasingly obvious, showing that she was on the verge of going berserk. Fei Er said somewhat angrily, "How can this group of people be like this? They can clearly tell who is right and who is wrong with one glance. Could it be that they are all blind?" Xiao Qian smiled faintly and said, "This is called having too many fools and not enough intelligence. All these people seek is a temporary vent. They do not care about right or wrong, right or wrong. Yet, they still numb themselves, thinking that they are righteous. How can it be like this?" Fei Er expressed her confusion. "Nothing is impossible. You will not find it strange after seeing it many times. You will understand in the future. However, I am going to make an offer." Xiao Qian narrowed his eyes, and a sharp light flashed in his calm gaze. Suddenly, a discordant voice rang out amid the sea of apologies. "Dazzling sunlight true flame, 3,000,000 spirit jades." His voice wasn't loud, but it was clearly transmitted to the minds of everyone present. The tide-like whistling sound seemed to have suddenly encountered a heavy blow, and came to an abrupt stop. The place fell into a strange silence. Who is it? Who is so blind as to dare to go against the trend and call out a bid of 3,000,000 spirit jades amid the wave-like cries? "Miss Lan Luo, what's wrong? Does my offer not count?" Lan Luo, who was on the verge of going berserk, suddenly sobered up at this moment. "Damn it! What am I doing? I can't even handle such a small matter. How am I going to inherit the clan in the future?" Lan Luo withdrew all her aura, and a profound look appeared in her eyes as she looked at the VIP room where Xiao Qian was. Then, she said, "VIP number 3, dazzling sunlight true flame, bids 3,000,000 spirit jades. Is there anyone willing to make a higher offer?" The cocky smile on Yen Xian's face froze at this moment, turning sinister and scary. "It's you." Yen Xian could tell that the one who spoke in VIP room 3 was Xiao Qian. "Xiao Qian, how dare you spoil my plans again? Are you tired of living? Yan Xian's enraged voice rang out from the VIP room, making everyone present feel his rage. 4 million. However, what answered Yan Xian was Xiao Chen's indifferent bid. It looks like you are really tired of living. 5 million. I will kill your entire family. 6 million. I, Yan Xian, swear that I will kill you. 7 million. Boom. Accompanied by an explosion, the table in Yan Xian's VIP room seemed to shatter from Yan Xian's palm strike. The sound of the explosion was exceptionally clear in this silent place. Every time Yan Xian said something, Xiao Chen would indifferently add 1 million spirit jades. This made everyone feel that Yan Xian's threat was laughable. Why aren't you saying anything? Let's continue. Every time you say something, I will add 1 million. Don't you want the dazzling sunlight true flame? Let's see how much wealth you have. Continue cursing, and let's continue playing. The cold voice from VIP room 3 wafted out. That chill made everyone shiver. When the Ice Mountain Sword, Luo Feng, heard this, he immediately chose not to speak. Luo Feng did not want to offend such a rich and overbearing person. If Luo Feng fancied something and got into a fight with the other party, raising the price, it would be very troublesome. Seeing Yan Xian's current appearance, Luo Feng rationally chose not to get involved. In the hearts of everyone present, one word came to mind: domineering. What was true tyrannical? One did not need a glib tongue. One was rich and overbearing, suppressing others until they did not dare to say anything. This was true tyrannical. Let me ask you, do you dare to play? Chapter 1589. Senior brother, I'll go look for our sex elders and get them to pay with some spirit jades. There's no need to fear this Xiao Chen, one of the junior brothers said in unison. Collecting his thoughts, the auction began. Xiao Chen thought for a while and decided to help Luo Nan obtain this sword. When Luo Nan heard this, he rejoiced in his heart. A cold wind sword forged by Great Master Qian Tai would definitely be one of the best among superior grade profound weapons. Xiao Sua nodded and said, that is natural. He is one of the 10 great refiners of the Grave Sea Cluster. This was especially so for his attainments in swordsmithing. He had reached the pinnacle of swordsmithing, and there were few who could compare to him. This sword should be Grandmaster's early work, but its value is definitely not low. 6 million. Even if we have money, that's not how we spend it. Xiao Chen nodded. I bought this sword for you. As a swordsman, who wouldn't love to have a sword that they admired? Lan Luo smiled faintly. Then, she looked at booth 3 with interest in her gaze. All the rank 3 sects of the entire Grave Sea Cluster were gathered there. That was where the true elites gathered. However, the resources, spiritual energy, and natural treasures in the Grave Sea were all at the peak of the outside world. Luo Feng's lips curled into a cold smile. No need. If he likes it, let him have it. As long as he's alive to take it. As soon as these words were spoken, it caused an uproar of discussion. At the same time, he was secretly shocked. Just who was this Xiao Chen? Ordinary people could not continue to dive. A slightly larger wave could kill a perfected one. Big brother, buy it for me. I want it. Xiao Chen fell into deep thought when he heard this, and then he looked at Xiao Sua and asked, is this Master Qian Tai very famous? No matter where it was, martial artists who practiced the sword would always be the mainstream. This was the mentality of humans. Since it was someone else who was paying, they would definitely buy the expensive one. If they bought the cheap one, they would feel that they had suffered a loss. Xiao Chen smiled and allowed Luo Nan to continue watching. Right now, he wanted to give Luo Nan a sword. But that Ice Peak sword. However, Luo Nan started to worry in the blink of an eye. Big brother is indeed big brother, domineering indeed. The bid of 7 million spirit jades shocked everyone present. No one made a move, and Xiao Chen obtained the dazzling sunlight true flame as he wished. That was not how logic worked. Not only could he order around a late-stage major primal core ferocious beast, but he was also wealthy and overbearing. His strength was unfathomable. The flagpole was covered in rust. The blood-colored flag was in tatters, and the pattern drawn on it was blurry. Venerable, you live in the grave sea all year round. There are often people who risk crossing the sea for the sake of a sword strike. As long as one was alive, it was impossible that one did not even have the right to buy something. In that case, he might really have followed the right big brother. However, this price did not last for long. Xiao Chen, who was in VIP room 3, made his own bid. The price soared very quickly, but it was not as exaggerated as the dazzling sunlight true fire. After all, not everyone was as rich as alchemists. It's over. Next up, the auction item is a little special. It's also the last treasure of the day. This is a flag, an ancient pirate flag. As for the discussions of the many cultivators in the hall below, Xiao Chen chose to ignore them. Congratulations to VIP room 3 for 1,600,000 spirit jades for the great master Qian Tai's cold wind sword. Lan Luo's pretty eyes filled with doubt. She felt even more curious about the identity of the master of VIP room 3. Right. Anything is possible. Since the Purple Cloud Pavilion said that it is the work of the great master Qian Tai, there should be some guarantee. Immediately, a tattered blood-colored flag appeared in front of everyone. If one really went to compete for this dazzling sunlight true fire, one might have to raise the price to 10 million spirit jades before one could obtain it. Even now, it was still a forbidden land. The seawater was formed from the melting of many ancient stars. It was not water in the ordinary sense. Ferocious beasts lived at the bottom of the starry sea. In the center of every astral zone was a boundless sea, a true starry sea. This prevented Yan Xian from competing with them, as well as the others from bidding against them. However, I can't say that. Perhaps it is a bladesman. Perhaps the other party urgently needs spirit jades to break through. However, the ancient aura from the pirate banners made everyone feel a sense of shock from the oncoming aura. In the VIP room, Xiao Chen showed a calm expression. He was rather happy that he managed to obtain the item he wanted at an extremely low price. Naturally, he was happy. To think that it is the work of the great master Qian Tai. Just the name of the great master Qian Tai is worth 1 million spirit jades. No matter what Xiao Chen did, he would offend the other party. In that case, he might as well go all out. Even if Xiao Chen used the most disadvantageous method to exchange for 2 million spirit jades, he would still be able to obtain 200 million ordinary spirit jades. This Xiao Chen really does not know how many debts there are. He offended Yan Xian and offended the Ice Snow Sword. Firstly, it would be hard to compete with the other party in terms of wealth. Secondly, Xiao Chen feared the other party's revenge. After the pirate flag appeared, Xiao Sua became completely excited. At this moment, he was even more excited, so he asked Xiao Chen to bid 1,500,000 spirit jades. However, when Xiao Sua called out her bid, the crowd booed. Big brother Xiao Chen, this sword. Luo Nan asked as he looked at Xiao Chen. Being able to roam the forbidden starry sea once already gave one the right to brag to others for life. After Lan Luo's subordinates brought out the auction item, she stood before the stage and pulled back the red cloth. Lan Luo did her best to explain the history of the pirate flag, attracting the attention of everyone present. The most important thing was that Xiao Chen had never feared those two from the very start. Could they be elite disciples of rank 3 sects who came out for experiential training? Thinking about it, that was indeed possible. Ka Xie. Pooh. The reason it was called the Grave Sea was that there were many strange graves in that sea region, dotting the boundless starry sea. Xiao Chen really wanted to know who the honored guest in VIP room 3 was. Fei was somewhat flabbergasted. Big brother Xiao Chen was truly a generous guest, taking out so many spirit jades in one go. 4 pirates, roaming the starry sea was their goal. 7 million spirit jades, going once, going twice, going thrice. Sold. This was discovered by a cultivator in the Grave Sea. This proves that the owner of the pirate flag had a high status in the past. Big brother Xiao Chen, do you really have 7 million spirit jades? Even though Xiao Chen had agreed to the other party's request, he still remembered it. After Lan Luo finished her introduction, she announced the start of the bidding. Xiao Suo rejoiced in his heart. Originally, he had been somewhat worried about Xiao Chen's wealth. Now, he was no longer worried. However, this pirate flag was only worth 1 million spirit jades. Beyond that, anyone who bought it would be a fool. The auction continued. Xiao Suo's eyes were wide open, hoping to win the most expensive and valuable treasure. At the crucial moment, Xiao Suo risked offending Yan Xian to help him. The starting bid for the pirate flag is 5 million spirit jades. Those who are interested can make a bid now. However, there were more important things to do right now. The center of the Grave Sea cluster was the Grave Sea. When the price reached 1 million spirit jades, the number of competitors decreased. This pirate flag was indeed pretty good. Just based on its historical value, it was worth 1 million spirit jades. If it was just a coincidence, the previous owner of this pirate flag was not simple. If that was the case, it would not be worth it. One might as well suppress the other party with one's aura, defeating the other party psychologically. At 5 million spirit jades, anyone who bought it would be a fool, even more foolish than a fool. Congratulations! This esteemed guest in VIP room 3 obtained the dazzling sunlight true flame. Of course, 7 million spirit jades was nothing. This is a very old pirate flag. We are appraisers. Although our appraisers did not identify its origins, it has at least 10,000 years of history. Inside the private room, the wine cup in Bing Fengjian's hand instantly shattered. Luo Feng's expression turned frighteningly cold. Xiao Chen nearly spat out the wine in his mouth. He put down the wine cup and looked at Xiao Suo. Are you sure? There were many independent starry seas in the universe, famous forbidden lands of the Great Thousand Realms. To pirates, such an existence was an honor. Xiao Chen said indifferently, it's fine. There are many things in this world that can be tolerated. However, if I am afraid to even buy a sword, why would I come to this purple cloud pavilion? I wonder who sent it up. To think that they are not using the work of great master Qian Tai. When Xiao Chen called out his bid, the crowd was shocked. Luo Feng actually did not raise the bid. The first day of the Purple Cloud Pavilion's annual large-scale auction welcomed the final item. Suddenly, the Bing Fengjian, Luo Feng, spoke. The remaining swordsmen competing could not help but shake their heads and stop bidding. In that case, after buying it and researching it, 1 million spirit jades would be a great profit. However, it was clear that Luo Feng was overthinking. Xiao Chen only wanted to buy the dazzling sunlight true flame. The next item is a treasure sword, the Cold Wind Sword, a superior grade profound tool. More importantly, it was forged by a Grave Sea Great Master Qian Tai. Its quality is guaranteed. The starting bid for the Cold Wind Sword is 100,000 spirit jades. Swordsmen interested in bidding, you can start bidding now. However, after thinking about it, Xiao Chen understood. Luo Feng and Yan Xian were preparing to snatch it after the auction. In reality, they did not know that regardless of whether it was cheap or valuable, they would be earning it for free. Chapter 1590. Xiao Chen was deep in thought. He still needed the pirate flag. A good pirate flag on the bow of a ship could greatly increase the defenses of a pirate ship. Many of the top pirate flags could even raise the quality of a pirate ship by several grades. The pirate flag was not just a decoration or a symbol for a pirate ship. However, the pirate flag in front of them was dilapidated and ancient. It was obvious that it only had some historical value left. There was another value. This was a pirate flag found in the Grave Sea. To some pirates with connections to the Starry Sea, it was of great value as a collector's item. Perhaps, the pirate leader Xiao Suo had his eyes on this last point. Since you've made your choice, then state your price. Since he had already promised Xiao Sua, Xiao Chen would naturally bid for it for him. He was just afraid that he would regret it. However, this power belonged to Xiao Sua, so Xiao Chen couldn't say much. 5 million. An excited voice rang out in the silent auction hall. It was Xiao Sua. The crowd was in an uproar. Whispers could be heard everywhere. Damn, there's really an idiot buying this lousy flag. Talents. Ha, the people in booth number 3 are all weirdos. This thing is worth 1 million spirit jades at most. It is not worth it. Soft voices of ridicule resounded throughout the hall, yet Xiao Sua didn't care in the slightest. After a while, no one else made a bid. This made Lan Luo, who was on the platform, somewhat anxious. This flag was no ordinary pirate flag. It had a great origin. However, the appraisers of the Purple Cloud Pavilion could not completely identify it. Even so, the starting bid was 5 million primordial spirit stones. Now that there was no second bidder, he could only bid for it with 5 million spiritual jades. But this thing, apart from those who were truly spendthrift, who would buy it? Basically no one was bidding for it. 5 million, twice. 5 million going thrice. Sold. Congratulations to guest number 3 for obtaining today's finale item. This auction has come to an end. Later, it will be time for the market to trade. Many of the treasures that weren't selected can be purchased directly. Lan Luo bowed slightly, revealing a smile. Her fair skin stunned the entire place once more. After getting off the stage, in the backstage attic. Xiaolan, you did well. You did not panic in the face of danger, and your temperament has improved. A luxurious and beautiful woman in her 40s said with a smile. Lan Luo smiled mischievously. However, she could not help but think of the guest in VIP number 3 who had helped her a lot. Auntie Bai, can you let me deliver the auction item to room 3? The beautiful woman addressed as Aunt Bai looked at Lan Luo and smiled. Strange, you have never taken the initiative to send an auction item to a guest before. Just let me go. I just want to meet the owner of VIP number 3, Lan Luo whined, shaking Auntie Bai's arm. Auntie Bai looked at the radiant Lan Luo and sighed, I'm afraid of you. Fortunately, your Auntie Bai is a woman. Otherwise, no man would be able to endure your torment. Hee, thank you, Aunt Bai. Aunt Bai is the best. You'd better not regret it. The owner of VIP room number 3 is an old man, according to the information. I don't believe you. Along with Xiao Chen's auction items, Xiao Chen headed to VIP room 3, feeling a little uneasy along the way. Although Lan Luo felt that Auntie Bai was joking, she still felt dubious. However, she did not overthink it. She was just curious. Furthermore, she did need to thank Xiao Chen. Lan Luo had an extraordinary background and started to stand on her own at a young age. She had seen all sorts of outstanding men and had long since passed the age of first awakening of love. She was a young girl who still harbored unrealistic fantasies about love. Dong! 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 There was knocking on the door. Xiao Sua immediately stood up impatiently. He smiled and said, It must be. The auction item is here. Big brother, I'll go and open the door. Creak. The door opened, and Xiao Sua was immediately stunned. As he looked at Lan Luo, who was right in front of him, he gulped continuously, making gulping sounds. Xiao Sua wished that his eyeballs could drill into that snow-white expanse. Lan Luo's heart skipped a beat. Unexpectedly, the person in VIP room 3 was also such a lecher. Putting on a polite smile, Lan Luo said softly, This is your auction item. To express my gratitude, Lan Luo personally delivered it. However, Xiao Sua was still staring, not hearing what the other party said. Xiao Chen thought that something had happened. He said, Xiao Sua, invite the guest in. After settling the bill, we still have to go to the Pirate Alliance. A familiar voice came from the guest room, making Lan Luo's heart skip a beat. Xiao Sua also startled to his senses. He quickly said, sorry. Come in quickly. However, Xiao Sua was somewhat embarrassed to discover that Lan Luo had already entered before him. Lan Luo's body seemed to give off a strange light. The moment she entered, the entire room lit up. Xiao Chen was somewhat absent-minded. This was the so-called radiance radiating in all directions. However, he quickly calmed down. Unexpectedly, Miss Lan Luo personally delivered it. Thank you for the trouble. Xiao Sua, Luo Nan, check your auction items. After verifying that there are no mistakes, I'll settle the bill. Xiao Chen stood up and nodded politely. At the same time, he naturally picked up the white crystal containing the dazzling sunlight true flame. A spot of fiery light shone in the crystal, illuminating the surroundings. After sensing it for a while, Xiao Chen verified that there was no mistake. On the other side, Xiao Sua waved the tattered, scarlet pirate banner with an exceptionally excited expression. It was like he was traveling through the vast starry sea. Luo Nan and Fei Er were both checking the cold wind sword. It was clear that the two were rather happy. It was indeed a good sword. It gave off a cold light, showing an unparalleled sharpness. When the sword was drawn, a cold wind howled. If I recall correctly, the 3 auction items are worth a total of 13,600,000 spirit jades. However, I do not have that many inferior grade spirit jades. How do I use medial grade spirit jades? Miss Lan Luo, please help me calculate. Lan Luo thought for a while before replying, if we use medial grade spirit jades, that would be 130,000 medial grade spirit jades. Our Purple Cloud Pavilion can give a 20% discount if we use medial grade spirit jades. I can personally help increase the discount. Round it up to 80,000 medial grade spirit jades. That should be enough. Xiao Chen thought to himself, medial grade spirit jades are really valuable. This girl is really straightforward. Just the small change is enough. Miss Lan Luo is really straightforward. Xiao Chen counted and handed the 80,000 medial grade spirit jades to the other party. Lan Luo casually received it and looked at Xiao Chen. She said, many thanks to young Master Xiao Chen for helping us earlier. Otherwise, the consequences would have been dire. Help? Xiao Chen was stunned for a while before reacting. He smiled and said, the consequences would indeed be dire. I wonder how many people would die. The moment Xiao Chen said that, Lan Luo immediately raised her guard and quickly calmed down. A cold light flashed in Lan Luo's eyes. What did the other party see? However, Lan Luo quickly hid her surprise. She said seriously, no matter what, I still have to thank young Master Xiao Chen. I'll send you out of the city. With the Purple Cloud Pavilion escorting you, I can guarantee your safety. There's no need. We still have to go to the Pirate Alliance. Lan Luo could not help feeling somewhat angry. To think that Xiao Chen did not appreciate her kindness at all. When Lan Luo saw the pirate flag in Xiao Sua's hand, she suddenly thought of something and said, young Master Xiao Chen, can you sell this flag to me? I can increase the price by 30%. Damn it! What are you trying to do? Even if you want to trade for this flag, I will not sell it. When Xiao Sua heard this, he immediately tensed up and cautiously looked at Lan Luo. Lan Luo's expression changed slightly, immediately feeling very angry. What kind of analogy is this? What does he think I am? In that case, I wish you all good luck. Forgive me for not sending you off. Lan Luo was truly angered. First, Xiao Chen did not appreciate her kindness. Then, Xiao Sua spoke nonsense. Then, she turned and left. Xiao Sua showed a confused expression. What's wrong with that woman? She was so friendly when she opened the door, yet she left just like that. I still wanted to chat with her for a while longer. Xiao Chen could not be bothered with Lan Luo. He only looked at that ancient pirate flag and entered deep thought. Perhaps this pirate flag was indeed valuable. Based on Lan Luo's appearance, she seemed to really want to buy it. Big brother Xiao Qin, I think that Miss Lan Luo had good intentions, wanting to protect us. However, we angered her and drove her away. Everyone misunderstood, Fei Er said somewhat timidly. Xiao Qin nodded and smiled. I know. However, we cannot leave yet. We can only leave after we treat Luo Nan. We also have to make a trip to the Pirate Alliance. While we are outside, we cannot casually accept favors from others. Furthermore, if these two clowns dare to mess around, there is really nothing to fear. What had Xiao Qin not experienced before? These two clowns before him were truly nothing. In his rich experience, they could not even be considered the main characters.